crisis, which has left us in really socially distanced. And this distancing has resulted in a lot of uncertainties, stress, a lot of upsetting of the apple cart, as they say. For example, in our case, our entrance exam was supposed to happen, as we all know, our set time is first Saturday of the month of May. This year, we have indicated in our official website that dates to be updated. So most of you have asked the question, will the date be announced? Now, today we have seen one important phenomenon. Just today, CLAT examination, which is the National Law Schools admission test for all the 22 national law schools, that CLAT examination was first declared like us in the beginning of May. Then it was postponed to 24th of May. As on today, they have declared the exam to be conducted on 21st of June. So why such multiple communication should go to the audience is our concern. Therefore, we knew that our top leadership of the country first declared that the COVID lockdown is going to be till the 15th of April. And then the next announcement came, which extended it to 3rd of May. So till 15th of April, we were not certain if our examination is going to happen as decided, although we may have to modify in terms of giving online at candidates' location. But with the extension of the lockdown and the seriousness of the issue in some parts of the country, it was very clear now that those dates we cannot stick to. That's why we said to be updated. You may ask the question, then when is the date? We cannot announce that kind of date because of 3 reasons. First reason is, except the IB board, no other board has conducted the 12th standard examination. So if we stick with our Saturday date, some of the state boards may hold their exams on Saturday. Secondly, the JEE, the NEET examination, some of the other entrance examinations for admission have not announced their dates as yet because of this predication upon the 12th standard examination. Therefore, in view of all of that, we will be announcing our date once the 3rd May situation, the 3rd May announcement is clear to us. And after that, our concerted decision at the university's management level will be taken and communicated to all of you. That's why in our website we said to be updated soon. Now, that should answer 90% of the queries of all of you in the chat room, because since last few days we have been seeing 90% of the queries have been, when is the SLAT examination? So I hope that query is answered, and also the purpose of this webinar. So this webinar has been brought to you much earlier than our usual routine, or much different from our usual routine of approaching you in the last 2 weeks of the expected time for entrance examination, because of the extraordinary situation that we have. So we will take, here the questions are pouring in, will you take CPSC date? Yes, we will take all the board dates. That's why we are also mulling over the idea whether it should be Sunday or Saturday. So we are waiting for certain facts to come to us, certain decisions to be made at the top leadership level in the country. We do not want to sound too hurried or too premature or too wrong by making such a choice and then again reneging or changing our choice of dates. So I hope all of you are with us on this. I'm sure you will appreciate our discretion and our what you call self-restraint in this fashion. Now coming to the core purpose of this webinar, we will give you generic information based on earlier years information that was sought by many parents and students about the institute and how this institute is different, unique, and why should you make a choice to join this law school vis-a-vis any other law school in the private sector or national law school, so that you make a very well-informed choice. So I request the presentation to run at this point. We have made a PowerPoint presentation, And this presentation will be beginning with my exposition on general overview of the strengths of this college, the unique features of this college, how do we put students in the center, what are the various processes, the best practices, etc. After that, the detailing of the academics will be done by our academics deputy director and the senior faculty, Dr. Bindu Ronald, who is a professor. She will talk about the way in which our academics is organized, how our pedagogy is, how our assessment process is. She'll also provide a very detailed insights on our programs, etc. After that, I will have our administrative deputy director, who is also in charge of admission process, Dr. Atmaram Shelke, who will talk about what are the ways in which SLS Pune excels in terms of student development, especially in center staging, moot court activities, and different festivals and opportunities. Then we have Professor Abhijit Vasmatkar, who will be exposing before you the quality assurance systems that we have, and also other stakeholders. He is an alumnus of our institute. So also Dr. Bindu, Dr. Shelke. Our institute is privileged to have more than 25% of our faculty coming from our distinguished alumni base. Then I will again intervene talking about one of the most important outcomes of this institute besides others, the career and professional development angle, which we call as placement, internships, entrepreneurship development, and training and development for planning the career. Because in legal field, there are multiple careers, more than 130 careers we have identified, and we have mapped the competencies, and we have mapped it to the way in which we train our students. So at the end of the third or fourth year, student will be able to make a clear plan about what should be the first choice or what should be the next choice. Then we have Professor Sujata Arya coming in and talking about the core DNA of our institute, that is internationalization. Symbiosis was created for international mission. So that internationalization is unusually in this law school very strongly done in all its 10 facets. So she will unveil before you those angles. Then we have our another strong point, which is our research culture, research output, consolidated in the form of Symbiosis Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research, where faculty and students together produce knowledge. We also have the outdoor and community activities in the form of Community Legal Care Center, stretched across villages in Pune. She will give you a glimpse of that, because that itself is a subject of seminar if anybody is talking about, and also the projects and other clusters and events which we organize around research. Then we have a very esteemed parent who has been kind to spend her valuable time with us, Mrs. Vinita Sharma, who is going to talk about her own journey through her ward in our institute. Thereafter, our Deputy Director Atmaram Shelke will again come in to lay before you the unique admission process that we have. Then our student and transforming into alumna, Mr. Ishwar Singh Sethi will talk about his experience and the routine in SLS Pune. Thereafter, I will make the concluding remark of career development highlights and overall message. So this is how we have organized the presentation. So I will begin with the highlights of our institute. As you see here, the very first slide, we want to submit before you that we stand as an institution for classic excellence. By classic, we mean something which is grown over 4 decades, more than 4 decades, almost 43 years, and unweathered or undisturbed or faded, unfaded by time. That is what is classic. So our excellence is something that has remained unfazed and unfaded. And we have played a very key leadership role in Indian legal education, being the topmost private law school as on today, and also in many ways participating in innovation in legal education across the country, whether it is new programs, because we have been the pioneers in starting BBA, LLB program in the country. We have been the pioneers in starting the 5-year law program. After us, many other institutes started, because we had the advantage of late Mr. Ram Jetmalani, as the Bar Council President, being our Professor Emeritus, law school to start that program. We have also been pioneers in starting one-year LLM program among 4 universities in the country. And we have also been the pioneers in bringing a lot of nuances, including the exclusive legal skill center within the educational framework, European legal studies within the educational framework. So that's where a leader is somebody who sets the path. So we claim that uh, humbly, that we have played such leadership role. So our vision is to promote international understanding, which is the translation of our Chancellor Dr. S.B. Muzumdar sir's vision, who founded this law school way back in 1977, uh, through quality legal education and research, combining the 4 C's. Our 4 C's are our unique, you can call our unique representation in terms of care, courage, competence, and collaboration. I would like to pause here and share with you the birth of this experiment of symbiosis. You must have seen some YouTube videos or our university website. If you go, it will highlight how Dr. Muzumdar sir never set out to do an institution or university. It, I mean, we can say the fortitude and the providence had ordained him so, in the sense that the discrimination experience of a foreign student in Pune's then education landscape provoked a botany professor to take up a platform for interdependent understanding of students. So he created English language as the key assimilation process through training. And English Language Training Institute later was making them get the confidence to look at other avenues. So law school was created in 1977, because by then there was only one law school, the ILS Law School, which was catering to the needs of the Pune community of army officers and automation and automobile industries. So the demand was met by this law school, 3,000 applications in the very first year for 300 student seats. So from there, the journey began. Like Harvard, we began with the law school, and next year, the birth of the Management Institute happened. Today, as you know, Symbiosis is a banner for 33 lead higher education institutions, large chunk of them in management. A significant contribution in research from Symbiosis health sciences faculty, engineering faculty, management faculty, and technology faculty. We also have humanities and social sciences. So this is where the university stands as on today. It's one of the top 50 universities in the country, and in innovation, it's one of the top 3, and has made very significant research contribution with its excellent research centers in image sciences, nanotechnology. So the advantage of studying in Symbiosis Law School as such, and Symbiosis Law School Pune, is this rich interdisciplinary environment, the big brand that Symbiosis is, the credibility that we have built with both the industry and the government, the public-private sector, and the excellence which we never compromise, the standard that we maintain in terms of our approach to our students. So let me introduce myself to you. Most of you would have known my profile, but I wanted to put it in a nutshell before you, to convince that you, or to convince your parents that you are entrusting yourself to a very experienced, seasoned kind of leadership and team. So my teaching experience spans over 24 plus years across National Law School Bangalore, Mangalore SDM Law College, Manipal Institute of Communication, and University College Cork, Ireland. Aside from that, I have also had the NGO and corporate experience in top leadership position. And then I have been on the editorial boards of several journals. We ourselves have edited 3 volumes of a journal with LexisNexis as well, but then we paused it because we are focusing more on international Scopus publications because of the university agenda. And then I have been on the memberships of the both public sector boards and private sector boards in terms of various law schools and global law deans forum. I have played a very crucial role. We have hosted the 120 law deans conference in Symbiosis Law School, Pune, way back in 2017. So you will see that I have been associated with the Judicial Academy, with the Bar Council of India, National Law Commission of India, aside from engagement with many other committees and at the Pune level also. So some of the fellowships and scholarships you will see there, including the Fulbright Scholarship, the AHRB Fellowship of the UK government in Edinburgh University. Then my personal passion for community engagement, you will see there. The personal passion for community engagement is evident in the form of our own legal aid work, which we do, which has received the award. We have also successfully created a litigation-free village. Our program goes on in 2 villages and prison, and we have received Maharashtra Government Award grant rather for engaging with the prisoners and district legal aid services. I have had the privilege of continuing the research endeavors of the past. The major ones are the European research projects. There are 3, and the minor research projects with the university and many other little grants from National Human Rights Commission, etc. And you will see on the left-hand side in this little capsule the awards and recognition, of which the major ones are Legal Education Innovation Award, Law Commission of India membership, then mention in the Book of 100 Legal Luminaries of India in 2016, and Karnataka Government Award. And you will see the list of publications. Other than 2 co-authored books, I've got 12 book chapters and more than 66 articles to my credit. So that will show you that the leadership that you see here in my role with the good team that I have also represents all the best side of academic strength of this law school and the performance strength of this law school. So let's go to the next slide. The next slide will show how there is a correlation between our team, leadership, and the excellence of the law school. Already this law school, I joined in 2007. By then it had been in the top 4, top 5, top 10 law schools in the country, and we have maintained that. Last year we finished 3rd, year before also we finished 3rd in the India Today survey. We finished 7th in the MHRD's National Institutional Ranking Framework. We were also awarded for our work with the Pune's underprivileged women in the prison and communities, sex worker community, by Herbert Smith Hills Award, which we utilized again for these underprivileged women. Some of the strengths which I can quickly place before you include our cutting edge curriculum. We say cutting edge because we incorporate knowledge, skills, and values, which is done by the American model of educating lawyers, where we see the parity between legal education and medical education. And then we have ICT driven student centric culture, where students have the handheld mobile device where their timetable is shown, where they can make their classes, attend their classes, see their progress. Parents can have access to attendance and their wards progress. We have a skill center, a comprehensive legal skill center, number of skills which we have identified. And we also have opportunity for students to engage in the legal aid and alternative dispute resolution center, where some of the retired judges come here as judge scholars and residents, and they engage students in their work, as well as act as mentors for students. We have a robust internationalization process, which my colleagues, all these my colleagues will give details. We have a strong research culture. We have a very well organized career and professional development program with 4 verticals in that, including entrepreneurship development. And then we have the co-curricular and extracurricular rich menu. So let me take you through the next slide, which will give you the glimpse of the recent conclave we had in the month of February, as part of our student festival. This was about quantum leap to the future, which is about internationalization of Indian legal system. You could see there Lakshmi Kumar and Sridharan sir, and also Madam Justice Revati Mohite of Mumbai High Court, who incidentally is also a parent of our institute. And she has been the alumnus of our institute. We have 4 of our alumna decorating the judiciary of Mumbai High Court. We have been having some of the judge scholars in residence. As I told you, we have had some retired Supreme Court judges. We have Justice Fansalkar Joshi, who is a retired Mumbai High Court judge, who is engaging as a panelist, who is engaging as a teacher, as a reviewer of our curriculum, and as advisor to us in the Skills Center and ADR Center. We also represent world class because anybody who enters a law school sees the trappings of any world class law school in our law school, be it the infrastructure or the learning resource or the quality of faculty and the kind of research that we turn out of this law school and the quality of our students. I remember this Commonwealth law officer who came here, who is a former dean from South Africa, telling that India is in safe hands by interacting with our students. So we have put the rule of law as our core research aim, which Dr. Rupal will mention later on. Let's go to the next slide. The next slide is a glimpse of the ranking that we have been having. Thereafter, the next slide, please. See, India impact of SLS Pune has been reflected in the media, as you see there, right from our faculty being the panelists in the district Lok Adalat, where they resolved more than 40,000 cases, which Professor Abhijit will mention, and also the way in which our students participated. Our alumni earned the honors of running independent NGO grants. And then we also have our recent seminar on nuclear waste management, which created waves through the media. Let's go to the next one, please. So some of our students, recent public servants we have shaped at SLS include the Additional Advocate General Saurav in Chhattisgarh, and recently appointed judge in Punjab, Ravneet, who is our LLM topper, to mention a few. We have a fact sheet there. We have nearly 2,000 students. We have 51 faculty. We have a very unique BA-LLB honors and BBA-LLB honors program. The difference between our law school and our sister law schools, which we created, I'm also the dean of the Faculty of Law, where I monitor the academic quality and input and the branding of these law schools. Because of the huge demand we received by 2010, we decided to establish the Noida Law School. And then we had SLS Hyderabad in 2014. And in 2019, we created Nagpur Law School. So all these law schools, after they were created, we had remodified our program. So we have honors programs in BA LLB and BBA LLB. The difference is an honors student studies more courses, means up to 8 courses, either in a choice of baskets of electives or a specialized basket like corporate law. So this is where the distinction between other law schools and Symbiosis Law School Pune comes in. Some of you have asked that question. Our law school is the only one which runs a 3-year LLB program, but 1-year LLM program is also run by Hyderabad now. Hyderabad will start this year. Nagpur has been running and Noida has been running since last year, although with only 2 specializations, whereas we run with 8 specializations. This year, we have introduced a very interesting new specialization, European Legal Studies. We are the pioneers in starting a program in European Legal Studies as a certificate program in the beginning. Our certificate program's excellence attracted the European Project Grant. So we developed a host of courses. 50% of my faculty are trained in Europe in these modern pedagogical methods and content development. So these courses are offered as specialization group to LLM in human rights and business law, whereas some of these courses are imported to undergraduate program as add-on courses or electives. So we also have 1 diploma program in business and corporate law. We have 3 full-time PhD scholars who assist us in research. We have 65 international collaborations. Professor Sujata will highlight more. We have more than, almost 500 research publications to accredit, including 59 Scopus publications. And then we also have projects which include national and international projects. Successfully, we have run the European Legal Studies program for the last 10 years. And then for the last 2 years, we have been running the Asian Legal Studies program. We are developing the African Legal Studies program. So this is how we are moving on. And in every semester, on an average, a student will see international faculty contributing as guest lecturers or guest faculty through various programs like Fulbright program, IALS grant, or collaboration. So this time we have an African scholar with us. We have had German scholars. We have had scholars coming from Australia and other places of the world. Thank you. So let's go to the next sheet. This is just a glimpse of the grand events we host there. We have their rule of law core conference, which we run every year. And in this year's conference, we have had a special panel on European law. So you see the panel members there, like people like Clement Arts and others. This year's conference also saw, if you can play the next slide, it also saw the inauguration of a skill center and alternative dispute resolution center, where Justice Pansalkar Joshi has been on the lead. And we also have an NGO leader there, Tejaswini, who has supported us in a human rights program. So we'll go ahead. One of the important contribution was also the online repository of Eurasia project that we have created, where we have courses, we have online courses, we have reading resources, learning resources as a repository in this website, aside from our journey with various European collaboration, whether under the German exchange program, where students and faculty have been on mobility, or other collaborations. So this slide also shows how we created some destinations where we went and met our stakeholders like parents, industry, alumni, and prospective students like you, where we created a kind of public awareness in emerging topics like artificial intelligence, etc. So you will see their lead law firm representatives, Google representative, among many. That was Bangalore. And in Bombay, we also have people like Bhumika Patra, who is a solicitor and a corporate leader. We have many others from Ernst & Young and PwC, etc., such law lead organizations, Ketan and company. And the Bombay discussion was aimed at data privacy, which is another very, very emerging area. So I pause here. I thank you for your attention. Now I hand over the podium to my colleague, Dr. Bindu Ronald, Professor and Deputy Director, also an alumnus of Symbiosis, who is with the SLS Pune as Professor since 2007. Over to Dr. Bindu Ronald to highlight the academics, please.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to all the viewers watching the webinar live from all parts of the country and across the world. I'm Professor Dr. Bindu Ronald, and I'm a Professor and Deputy Director Academics and working at Symbiosis Law School, Pune since 2007, and associated with the law school for even longer, as I had joined this law school as a student 3 decades ago. I was happy then to join this place to study law, and years later to associate myself with the law school on the other side of the table. Symbiosis Law School Pune is one of the flagship institutions of Symbiosis International University and has been a leading law school of the country. Academics at this law school has been very carefully nurtured, keeping in mind the national and the global perspectives. We offer BA LLB Honors program. We offer a BBA LLB Honors program. We offer 3 years LLB program, 1 year LLM program with 8 different specializations, which include business and corporate laws, constitutional law and administrative law, innovation, technology and intellectual property law, criminal law and security law, human rights law, law policy and good governance, family law, European Union legal studies. The main difference that is there, if you look at the BA LLB Honors program and the BBA LLB Honors program, is that a BBA LLB student studies management subjects in the first 3 years along with the law subjects, whereas a BA LLB Honors student studies some of the humanities courses such as political science, sociology, economics, etc. All the 20 compulsory courses that are there, which the Bar Council expects all the students to go through, are taught to a student, whether he's from a BA LLB stream or from the BBA LLB stream. The three-year LLB program also provides all the compulsory law courses which Bar Council expects every law school to teach. And along with that, there are also electives that are there that the student can take. We also offer diploma programs and various value-added certificate courses, which a student can actually undertake along with the degree program. We are a law school where we deliver a cutting-edge curriculum, which is prepared taking feedbacks from our stakeholders, which include our students, parents, academia,
Oh,
international experts, industry, bar, bench, making it rich and contemporary and very relevant. Teaching here is technology driven. So, be it in
Dr. Bindu,
curriculum.
there is slight interruption. I'm sorry.
Okay, it could be because of the video connectivity. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Dr. Bindu, hello.
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
you're
ma'am, we
very
can hear you
clear, but
clearly.
in
Okay,
between there was interruption. So
all
maybe
right.
you can put your, the
Video,
rest of
I
us
could
can
maybe
put our
just,
videos. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I could just put off my video so that the connectivity is a little better, perhaps.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Please proceed, ma'am.
I was talking about the teaching over here, which is technology driven. So, be it in curriculum delivery or in the reception by students, technology plays a very, very important role. In fact, during this COVID period, we've gone online to ensure that teaching learning uh, is provided to the students through the online platform. We have technology driven teaching learning platforms such as the Student Lifecycle Management Portal, which allows us to deliver all our curriculum, uh, uploading videos or adding study resources, uploading assessments and attendance, managing the student progression, or providing a platform to the parents to see how their wards are progressing. Student lifecycle management has been the technology aiding us at Symbiosis Law School. We also have a curriculum where all our courses have defined objectives, and uh, all our courses also have defined outcomes which are mapped to the program outcomes. Our assessments are also mapped to the course outcomes, which are prepared for each course and circulated to all the students along with a very detailed session plan. The Bloom's taxonomy table of cognitive process is followed in designing the course objectives. Our program introduces the students not only to law courses as per the Bar Council of India's requirement, but it also provides a glimpse of the courses from other institutions which we offer under our floating credit program and other inter-institute credit transfer programs. Our courses have experiential learning component to it, and our students are part of various programs such as the legal aid activities, visits to Lok Adalats, visit to various tribunals and courts, etc. regularly. We are the first law school in the country to introduce skill learning courses, which prepares and equips our students to be market ready. We inaugurated, like Gurpur ma'am pointed out, we inaugurated the Skill Center and the ADR Center, and there are a lot of workshops and initiatives that are conducted for our students through the Skill Center. We have a very robust student care support system, and each student is very important to us. We have developed a very result-oriented academic success program, which helps weak students to cope up with courses where they are weak or they feel the need for additional support. We have a very strong mentor-mentee system, and each student is assigned a faculty mentor within a week of joining the law school, and also provide for a senior student as buddy to handhold them as they enter the portals of the law school and continue their journey with us. Our crisis management team ensures that students have a good support in case of any emergencies or exigencies that they may face while they stay away from home. We are also very sensitive to mental health support that some of the students may require, and we provide students with counseling sessions from time to time and on need-based basis. Our placement training entrepreneurship cells provide for the necessary training and support which is required for students in their internships and placement, although we always say that Symbiosis is not a guarantee for placement. However, we train our students well, and placement is always a culmination of what a student does through his 5 years at law school. Our teaching process includes most innovative practices. Our courses incorporate ethics and skills. We teach our students team building. We also have team teaching, where a course is taught by more than one faculty, thus ensuring that students gain from the combined strength of our resources and our faculties. We have, as I mentioned earlier, skill courses. We adopt a student-centric learning and teaching pedagogy. And our teaching pedagogy, it includes seminars, presentations, group discussions, case studies, mood codes, stimulation exercises, movies and documentary analysis, etc. We respond to the diverse needs of the students through various add-on courses that we provide. We encourage students to research and publish, training them in essential lawyering skills such as mooting, trial advocacy, etc. We also provide leadership training through our student cell initiatives. We don't believe that it is only in classrooms that teaching takes place. We take our students beyond classrooms. We organize public lecture series such as the Y.V. Chandrachud Memorial Lecture, and we also organize the late B.G. Deshmukh Memorial Lecture, which is organized in association with the Public Concern for Governance Trust, and this is also open to the public at large. We invite a large number of legal luminaries and experts for ensuring a learning enrichment where the students gain from the experience and expertise of our resource person. The teaching learning is supported at Symbiosis Law School by a very rich learning resource center, which has the IT resources, has a very strong support and services, which is provided by our IT team to the students. It has a very rich e-learning resource center where our students can have access to material and access to material even remotely. So during this COVID period, when the students are back at home, they can access our resources even from their homes. We have a whopping investment of over 1 crore of rupees per annum on our learning resource management. With a very strong IT policy, with 24 hours Wi-Fi services which is provided at the campus, with strong IT support for teaching learning, Symbiosis Law School surely stands above the other law schools. My journey with Symbiosis Law School has been very enriching and satisfying as an academician. I invite you to join Symbiosis Law School Pune and help us groom you for a bright future. Thank you very much. This was about the teaching learning process at Symbiosis Law School, and I now invite Dr. Atmaram Shelke to take you through the other initiatives that are there at Symbiosis. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Yes. Dr. Shelke, could we hear you?
Yes, yes. Good afternoon,
Yeah,
everyone.
please.
Good afternoon, panelists. Uh, I'm going to elaborate on the moot court as one of the skill center and other programs at Symbiosis Law School Pune. So skills are at the center in the Symbiosis Law School Pune. We have a special moot court known as the Student Bar Association or SBA, who is conducting a lot of programs and training. And in order to do that, we have exclusive moot court hall, which is a replica Mumbai High Court having capacity of 200. Apart from that, every year for first year, in first semester, there is special training by American attorney known as Rebecca Todd for first year about moot and mooting skill, etc. As part of the moot court, every student has to go through at least 5 moot courts in the life cycle. And then there are prestigious moot owned by the Symbiosis Law School Pune, which is mentioned in the slide also, like Philip Jessup Moot Court in their own, Kerala Moot Court competition, which is one of the well-known competition, Nanya Palkiwala Memorial Tax Moot, which is nationally known moot court competition, and 6th edition of International Maritime Law also. So as moot court, as internal part of the moot court, multiple skills are built and there is opportunity to participate in the moot court, mock trial, judgment writing, client counseling, negotiation, and other competitions. And there are multiple workshops conducted by the SAB in order to train and hone the skill of the student. The skills are developed with help of the senior mooter, faculty members, and we have distinguished faculty known as Justice Deshmukh, who is retired judge, who is helping us in order to develop the skills of the student. And there are few pictures provided. A list is long, but few pictures are provided in the slide. You can see that. Apart from that, we conduct two big competition about moot court. One is national area tournament, which is national level competition. Second is SICTA, that is Symbiosis International Criminal Trial Advocacy competition, which is prestigious competition for the Symbiosis, and it is one of the well-known competition, not only in India, but outside of the India. Now, this SICTA is conducted on the line of Rome Statute, that is having the Court of International Criminal Justice at Hague. And problem for the SICTA is framed by the international juries or judge. And because of this initiatives, we are always ranked high in MPL, that is Moot Premier League. Many times we were first, and Symbiosis Law School Pune was only one private law school who had attained their stature. And therefore, the MPL had provided special report on their website mentioning the achievement of the Symbiosis Law School Pune. In the picture, a lot of things are shown, and in competitions are shown. Apart from the moot court, in order to develop overall personality, we have a lot of other programs and internal sales, such as Symbiosis Human Rights Sale, Corporate Sale, Tech Legal Sale, Community Legal Services, and ma'am will mention about that later on also. PR and Media Sale, Student Advisory Board, which is helping in administration and academics. And then a lot of lecture series, as Bindu ma'am has mentioned. We are having Law Day, that is Justice Y.U. Chandrachud Memorial Public Lecture, late Sri Vijay Deshmukh Memorial Lecture, and we are conducting very prestigious annual research conference, international annual research conference on the rule of law, wherein participants from India and outside of India are being seen. Apart from the seminars, workshop, and training program conducted by the Symbiosis Law School Pune. And we have national known the cultural fest, which is known as Symbo, wherein there are a lot of legal activities and cultural and sport activities. And as part of that, later on Sujata madam will mention, we have dramatization of trials, wherein trial like Tilak trial and other trials are dramatized by the student of SLS Pune. As part of the Symbo, we conduct conclave wherein judges, academicians, social workers are involved. And then we have other legal competition as part of Symbo, like mono advocacy is there, MAN is there, client counseling is there, negotiation, and other competitions are there as part of the Symbo. Thank you, madam. Go to Director, Madam.
Okay, now do I come, or is there someone else who is supposed to speak now, or do I make the interjection now? As per our schedule, after Atmaram Shalke, it is Abhijit Vasmutkar who is supposed to speak. So would you come in, Abhijit Vasmutkar, sir?
Ma'am, I talk about the quality parameter, quality compliance at SLS. Should I begin with that?
Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'll talk about quality compliances, ma'am. Yes. Should I begin?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
You have to speak. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. Very good morning to, good afternoon to Director ma'am, other panel members, parents, and my dear students. Here I am talking in two different capacities. One, as a teacher, and secondly, as an alumnus of this prestigious law school, Symbiosis Law School, Pune. I did my LLB and at the same time LLM from this institution, and I'm proud to put before you that I'm a gold medalist of this the law school. SLS Pune has a dedicated cell called as IQAC cell, that is Internal Quality Assurance the cell, to monitor all academic and administrative quality in the compliances. This IQAC cell has has 7 parameters to look at, starting with the curricular aspect. And ma'am, Gurupur ma'am has specifically mentioned that we have cutting edge in the curriculum. We offer cutting edge in the curriculum because we integrate feedback of different stakeholders like students, parents, teachers, alumni, and more importantly, industry, which includes bar and bench. And that is how our curriculum stands apart from those of the other institutions who are competing within our institution. As we have been looking at and reviewing our syllabus every year, so all our another courses fit into either of these another classes like employability, entrepreneurship, or they provide the skill development. Though we are another talking about employability, entrepreneurship, and skill development, still there are another courses that has another connectivity with gender, sustainability, environmental protection, human values, and professional ethics. Let's little talk more on the second the parameter of another quality, that is teaching, learning, and evaluation. Here the academic the process at SLS the Pune is very dedicated. It's a very regulated the process. It starts with the previous slide, please. It starts with preparing an academic the calendar. Academic calendar gives students a detailed analysis of all those another activities that are planned in a particular year. So academic calendar has all those curricular activities and co-curricular activities that are backward in the work. And there are another timelines that are specific in the timelines that are not laid down in that another academic calendar. This academic calendar gives students an opportunity to understand that when is the examination, and accordingly they can plan for their internship in the break. There is also scope for these set activities that we have, including our conferences, seminars, and even the students can the plan for their the moot court and other outside the institution the planning. Here, as a part of teaching, learning, and evaluation, it is mandatory for every another teacher to prepare a session plan, and each session plan has a mapping for each session. The teacher is required to provide pre-session reading, at the same time post-session reflective the work. And when this session plan is submitted, there is a dedicated team of another experts. They will review this the session plan. Accordingly, they will ensure whether quality has been ensured or not, whether timelines have been followed, whether the content delivery has been planned properly or not, the pedagogy which Bindu ma'am has expressly mentioned, whether the pedagogy is properly being used or not, and more importantly, the patterns of another assessment and the variety of another assessments have been used as a part of this particular session plan or not. That is something which is ensured by this another academic committee. Here, in order to have a proper delivery and proper execution of another session plan, there is a system of weekly reports. Weekly reports are submitted to deputy director, and through deputy director it is reviewed by director, and thereby they will see whether each session plan is getting complied in a particular week or not, if they are in a particular week or not, and thereby if there are at all deviations, those deviations are taken care in coming in the weeks. One of the most important aspect is, here students are not given an opportunity to give another feedback. So for the purposes of another feedback, we have kept multiple another options in the open. That is, we have a formal system of another taking feedback, wherein students can another give 360-degree feedback about the working of another institution on academic another processes, and at the same time administrative processes, including the evaluation of another teacher. They can send a direct mail to the director in case of sensitive another matters. At the same time, there are suggestion box, and open house is one of those unique the points or unique the processes that we have at the SLS, through which director and deputy director can openly talk with her batch, and they can understand their concerns, and they will provide them the remedy then and there. In addition to this, another quality another parameter is, director of another institution conducts a meeting with every faculty member after, let's say, half of another, once the half another term is over, and director of the institution will try to understand the problems as to the implementation, and if at all there are no problems, she will give certain the remedies, and accordingly she will ensure that the curriculum is getting imparted as planned and as the design. Then at the end of the semester, we have a system of doing academic audit. And this audit is not internal audit, but for this audit, external members are invited, and these external members are conducting this the audit. Next is research, innovation, and extension of the activity. Third parameter of the IQAC is research, innovation, and the extension activity. Professor Rupal will be talking much on this, but I must say one thing about this another particular quality parameter, that we have integrated in our curriculum a course on legal research methodology, and that is offered in the first semester itself. Thereby, students are taught with basic knowledge of legal research methodology, whereby they can understand how to conduct research, how to publish the articles, how to participate in international conference, national conference, and they can showcase their talent. We have so many extension activities. To name a few, our students have been the training women self-help group and the girl children in legal and financial literacy. This we are doing in collaboration with some of the local NGOs. At the same time, we have gender sensitization and the consumer awareness another program that we are conducting in nearby the village schools, where teachers and students are being trained. We have established a permanent legal aid center, wherein every week students are taken to a permanent legal aid center, and there students are in a position to understand and get first-hand information about a particular case, and through experts, they try to understand how to apply law on a factual situation, on a real situation. We have been doing a fantabulous job with Yeroda prison, and mainly with the under trial the prisoners. So here, taking a cognizance of the contribution of Symbiosis Law School Pune, Maharashtra Legal Aid Services and the authorities, they have been providing funds of 2 lakhs rupees per year to promote this the activity of Symbiosis Law School in the Pune. These are not just because of time crunch, the few the activities I have mentioned. The next quality parameter looked into by IQAC is infrastructure and the legal researchers. We provide a state-of-art infrastructure, beautiful the infrastructure. You can visit our website and they have a glimpse of the infrastructure. More importantly, we are providing access to all those the legal databases, modern databases, e-databases, which includes Hein Online, Westlaw, LexisNexis, Manupatra, SCC online, and many more legal databases to which free access is provided to our students. We have different cells, and through those the different cells, the sense of governance, sense of leadership, and the sense of management is imparted on the students. Though the cell is monitored and managed by faculty in charge and headed by director of our institution, but all activities are what we call it as conceptualized, implemented, and enforced by our students only. Institution is always trying to look at and instill the values onto another student, and they are they're trying to ensure that we are the best amongst the other the law schools. In this slide, I would like to draw your attention to experiential learning and special support mechanism we have at SLS Pune. We all know that law in theory and law in practice are two different sides of a particular coin. So to bridge this gap between the two, we take students to forensic lab, and thereby we try to understand we make them understand as to how does the forensics of particular evidences is being done. Because if the forensics of particular evidence is not being done properly, the case may not stand in the court of another law. And that is how the practical dimension of, let's say, ballistics of the IT or the e-forensics, what we call it as. For that purposes, we arrange and organize the visits to the forensic in the lab. In addition to this, we take our students to judicial academy, wherein initial and basic the knowledge in relation to judgment writing, judgment the reviewing, appreciation of the evidences, all that the training and the knowledge is imparted to our students. We have so many collaborations with government departments, including CID, Center for Police Research, and other departments. One important point here I would like to make, that taking into consideration the quality of staff, the teaching faculty we have at SLS Pune, we have been invited by district legal authorities Pune to represent and to they have been inviting our faculty members to be there as another panel members, and thousands of another cases every year are disposed of with the help of our faculty members amicably through this Lok Adalat. And here we accord unique another opportunity to all our students to take part and observe those the proceedings in settling the matters amicably. We encourage visits to NGOs so that students can become sensitive to the issues of the locals and the people who are downtrodden and who are hit because of one or the other disabilities. And our intention is, when they go out from this institution, they become sentinels of another justice and fight for another justice. In addition to this, we encourage students to attend lawyers in the office, to attend the court proceedings. At the same time, what we do is we encourage them to take a look at certain of the proceedings that are happening before the tribunals. Mainly here we have Western Zone NGT Tribunal, that is National Green Tribunal. So we encourage our students to take part in those the activities. We have a special support in the mechanism. One, for alumni, because once you pass out from this the institution also,
Right.
you may need so many the supports. So we have created at SIU level a support another mechanism, and through which even after your graduation, if you need transcript or maybe a reference letter for further education or to be submitted to your own employers, for that the institution is very much happy to accord your support. And for that purposes, there is a separate and special department. And then last another point of my the presentation is we have been providing a special support to our own student in the form of academic success in the program. We understand the fact that students come from different the background, they have different the learning exposure, and that's why when it comes to meeting the rigor of our the institution, some of them might face little the problems. So those initial little teething the problems are the result by conducting special tutorials, by providing special support of teachers, counselors, and at the same time, what we do is by administering special tests and special exercises, we make them the stand next to all those the students and take part in the learning process. I thank you very much for listening to me, and over to director ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Abhijit. And dear audience, I'm coming back here. I request the slide mover to go back to the third. Yeah, this slide. I mean, no, after this, after this, after this, after this, after this. No, after. Next, 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 next. No, no, not back. Come in front. I think, no. 3 slides have been there. Go back. I'll tell you. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Whether these two have been discussed, I don't know. This has been discussed. Cell has been discussed by Abhijit, but before that. So, dear audience, already Professor Abhijit has told you about induction program and also other kinds of program when students come as fresh students. We teach them like how you teach Pulse for medical students or e-media for media students. We teach them how to use the database, how to use the learning resources, how to find the law, how to spot the problem as a legal problem, and how to apply the law. Now, this training is done by a special faculty who is invited from United States of America. So there the students learn the mores of legal writing, advocacy and thinking like lawyer. So there our shaping of students as lawyers rising up to any occasion begins. And it has already been highlighted how our entire student development process is about personal enhancement and development. And here I come in overseeing the placement. We call it as career and professional development, because in law to talk about placement is insult. Law is more of a calling in one's life. It is a profession where we use our knowledge to the service of public. Therefore, we have scientifically, with lot of research, identified legal careers which span in the range of public sector careers, court-based careers, corporate careers, law firm careers, litigation careers. And then we have also a whole chunk of research-based, policy-based, academic-based careers. So in every avenue of career, there is independent, self-freelancing kind of avenue, there is a job sharing kind of avenue, then there is a leadership avenue. So we have mapped all of these. When the fresh students leave the portals of our college, they are given this rich possibility. So from first year itself, we have arranged teaching and skills training and psychometric analysis and surveys from student interest in such a way that we are able to narrow down their focus in terms of their choices. But you know, the latest researchers in neurobiophysical evolution of human being shows that our brain is a malleable thing and our neural networks change. So aptitude changes, exposure changes people. So we have that scope as well. That's why we ask their preferences when they come in. They come with the world of expectation, with the world of dreams, and we locate them in the reality. And then we give them the exposure systematically through internships which are developed on the basis of these competency and opportunity. And there is a strict evaluation of this internship, etc. So career mentoring happens by experts. For example, if somebody is interested in corporate career, among our alumni or the experts who are on the visiting faculty or advisory of the institute may adopt them to be guided, or we encourage students to find from their parents or their family friends also such mentors. Secondly, career path identification and orientation happens by looking at three facets: students' capacity, students' interest, and the opportunity that student can get from their own networking or from how they develop. Then for generic skills, we have the skill center, and we also have these skills such as resume writing, which is required in the first semester itself when they're planning for internships, training in their diverse career possibilities, and developing their CVs, building a strong CV. For example, I was looking at Ishwar as a student who is going to talk to you. He was always more scholarly inclined, and he comes from a family of lawyers. So if you are orienting a student like that, you orient them to build a CV which gives them that getting into that Ivy League university admission. So how do you help them? Or rather, we don't use the word help, it's a very patronizing word. We use the word how do you facilitate them, how do you provide them those choices, and how do you inform them. So we do those kinds of profiles of the earlier students. Those students come and talk to them. So based on that, CV building is done. Then we have electronic kind of career and learning development courses, leadership development courses, which we outsource from some providers, only few modules, or from organizations. And then soft skill development is done in a very systematic way, because professional success is 85% dependent on soft skill. So now we go to the slide, Amit, forward, where I'm coming. Now, this is one question. Let us pause at scholarship. This is one question which has been repeatedly asked. We have got scholarship for SC, ST students, but then there is a limitation on that. Right now, even the scholarship for disabled students has been opened, but there hasn't been any release of that scholarship. Whereas SC, ST scholarship, we have been disbursing since 2007. We have disbursed about 2 crores of scholarship. One of the preconditions is that family income limit Earlier it was 2 lakhs per year, to now it is raised to 4 lakhs per year. So for SC/ST students, this limitation is there. Other than this, only for SLS Pune, I'm emphasizing because that was a question. Only for SLS Pune, we have an internal scholarship for those who top the SLAT examination. In BA category and BBA category, we have got 9 and 6 scholarships respectively. BBA is 9, BA 6. Now these scholarships have precondition. You should be among the top 9 or top 5, and you should be joining the college. Many times it so happens that the topper may emerge, but the topper may choose to go to a law school in their hometown. It happens a lot with the Bombay students and Bangalore students who find Pune a not so fast a city. So that could be one, or many other reasons might prevent them from joining our law school. So those scholarships will not be received by them. So this is how it operates. Other than this, our Symbiosis Foundation has got a special scholarship for the toppers. For both these scholarships, we have got condition that a candidate has to continually achieve 80% score. So like that, we have disbursed more than 3 crore scholarship in last few years. Then we have personally facilitated some scholarships for the best outgoing lady student, a nominal small amount, for the contract law topper, for the evidence law topper, then for the batch topper. Some foundations and some endowments have been created which will give you money like 50,000, 1 lakh. Then once in a while, whenever a student loses the source of income in the family due to some crisis or something, based on investigation and other things, our alumni and our foundation jointly take care of such students. Such cases happen maybe in a year, 1 or 2 cases happen, needy and deserving cases. So other than this, we provide financial assistance support by using our goodwill to facilitate the bank loans, educational loans for students. We are in the connection of so many banks, and our letters hold a lot of value. And we also give a formatted letter if some student is going for an educational loan. So let's go ahead. Yeah, this is where I want to focus. With all this which has been told by Dr. Shelke, Professor Abhijit, Dr. Bindu, the kind of rigor with which we shape the students, we have produced wonderful contribution to the legal world of this country, legal fraternity of this country. Today, if you look at the leading law firms, large number of leadership partners come from Symbiosis Law School, Pune. We have business and art and social entrepreneurs, content writers, journal editors, high court judges. Now this 3 has become 4 this year, and more than 30 we have had across states like Assam, you saw Chhattisgarh and other places. We have had many in-house counsels, general managers in national and international companies, law firm recruitments, law clerks. This year, I've got 3 of my students as law clerks with the senior judges in the Supreme Court. Then we have had legal and treaty division officials, Indian law service officials, Indian corporate service officials, a number of revenue officers and civil servants, Indian revenue service officers and civil servants, district judges, law officers in CBI, leadership positions as deputy mayors, etc., and large number of academics and researchers, policy researchers, etc. So this is the trajectory and the outcome. This year in Mumbai, patent division has appointed a senior officer from our LLM students. One LLM student went and did his PhD in IIT Kharagpur, and now he has joined IIM Indore as a faculty. So we have had a very rich trajectory by our alumni. Now, you were asking about what kind of career opportunities. In-house counsels form a large chunk, about 29%. Previous slide, please. Previous slide. 29%, and litigation forms 7% in the sense of sector allocation. But large number of students go to Mofussil towns also as litigants. Then percentage sector allocation, corporate is 20%. That means in-house lawyering has been a large sector. Then corporate sector, managerial and leadership roles about 20%. And law firms has had 44% of uptake from our law school. And we have not figured out higher studies. We have not figured out entrepreneurs in this pie chart. So let's go to the next slide, which will show the broad idea of recruiters who also become our learning partners. They come here, give feedback on our courses, and they also come as trainers and as recruiters. So you have Surana and Surana, Krishna and Saurashtra, ICICI Bank. These are our regular recruiters. This year we have had PwC, Ernst and Young, and so many years DSK on and off has been coming. Tata Technologies. The SAM and the CAM have been recruiting from us. Ketan has been recruiting from us. AZB has been recruiting from us. On the left-hand side, you will see a lot of courses we have created under the Skill Center. This is only a glimpse. We have about 130 skills-related courses and skills which we impart. So we sometimes do sector-specific. For example, this year we did an extensive program on IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. We did on corporate skills in parts. We did on media law skills. We did on biotechnology law skills, IP skills. So this is how we make it basic and advanced. In the curriculum also there are skill courses. So overall our career and placement development verticals are 4 in number. One vertical is placement and entrepreneurship development, because we see entrepreneurship as multiple placement. Placement means one placement. One entrepreneur means multiple placement. So we do that. We do internship, which is their internship matures into pre-placement offer and placement. And then we look at training these people into different career choices and building their job readiness. And then the last vertical that we have had is the corporate connect, how we build our base with the corporate. So destination events whereby we go to the doorsteps of corporates and build our database, build our goodwill base, and create more opportunities for our students. So this is how we have been working. Next slide, please. So now I invite Professor Sujata Arya, who has been in the forefront of internationalization among our faculty, who is a polyglot, an expert in multiple European languages, a postgraduate in Spanish and English as well. I invite her, or one of the very influential teachers as well, invite her over to take over.
Thank you, Director Ma'am. Good afternoon to Gurpur Ma'am and all the panelists, and a very good afternoon to all the viewers who are joining us on this webinar and the students. So I'll just switch off my video, but we are following the vision and mission of our university, and Symbiosis Law School Pune is one of the strongest in internationalization. So we have collaborations which are across Asia, EU, UK, US, Australia. All the MOUs are signed under our university, and we have an international office, Symbiosis Center of International Education, which facilitates all the signing of the MOUs. But Symbiosis Law School Pune has been a beneficiary of many of the faculty and exchange programs through these MOUs. We also have membership in prestigious institutional memberships like Engage, Asian Law Institute, and International Association of Law School, and the environment group IUCN. This helps us in having a lot of scholar and resident faculty visiting us, as well as visiting international faculty. And Dr. Gurpur Ma'am has been at the forefront of, through these associations, of trying to bring global legal reforms and the best practices which are incorporated at SLS Pune. We've had a one of its kind, a transnational contract project which was undertaken by faculty and students, and this was across 5 universities. So in 2005, Symbiosis Law School Pune became a part of the prestigious Erasmus Mundus program. And from there, due to our excellence, today we have become a part of other prestigious Erasmus projects, and also the DAD project. Now, the faculty and have really benefited from the cascading which has taken place from all these projects. But it's in the next step, it's going to be the students and the PhD scholars who are going to benefit from all these projects. One of the outcome out of the many outcomes we've had is the introduction of the EU Legal Studies Certificate Program. And this has been more than 10 years that we run the certificate program in the month of February and March. And many of our students who have gone on to do their LLM have come back, and this has really helped them when they have been applying for either for internships or further LLM. We've also introduced the Asian Legal Studies, again one of its kind, and this is going to be the second year that we will be running it. Under the Eurasia project, under the guidance of our director, we have developed 28 new EU study related courses, and we started this year that we have started running these courses, and by the students will be benefiting by opting for the EU courses. Now the purpose of this is that apart from UK, USA, Australia, New Zealand and Canada, where many of our students do apply for LLM, we want them also to look at the opportunities of doing their LLM in the European universities, and also imbibe the rich culture that Europe affords. So we have the introduction of value-added certificate courses, which we have done. I just mentioned this, and we also have introduced a special LLM specialization in EU. We've had faculty exchange, which happens under the Fulbright scholarship. We have Gyan scholars who've come, and we also have the ILS visiting scholar program. We've had nearly 30 or more scholars who have visited us, and this ensures that they are a part of the teaching and learning environment at SLS, and students get an added edge, which is there when they learn from other best practices and faculty who come from some of the best law schools across the globe. Dr. Gurpur ma'am has already mentioned this, but it's right in the first year that we expose our students to the rich mooting exercise. And this is done for 1 month, where we have US faculty who specially invited. There is a moot program, there's a moot problem which is made across 3 courses, which is torts, contracts, and legal research. And then the students have an extensive assessment which is done. So the collaborations are across the prestigious universities like UK, USA. Then we also take up joint research and teaching engagement. We have journal editing, which is done. And then we have a lot of student exchange, which happens. So on an average, we have nearly 7 to 10 students who go per year. And this student exchange happens only second year onwards. Also, our LLB students get the benefit of it. And because of the Bar Council regulations, we are not able to put them in the external marks, but we give them the benefit of whatever assignments or grades that they have got. We incorporate it in their internals. And a lot of students have got the chance to go for the summer school. For the summer school, there is an opportunity for our students, even our first year students, to go for these summer school programs. I'll be talking a little bit more later on about the incorporation of the MUN and the parliamentary debates, the ICC component into assessment, learning, and competition. Because as it is said that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we do have a lot of different teaching pedagogy, which is a part of a curricula and assessment. And many of our students have in fact got very prestigious
Is there a problem? Is there a problem?
We'll check with her.
Yeah. Sujata, oh, there might be sudden abruption. So we will run the PPT anyway. Sujata has told about employment opportunities, training, and then collaborations in legal education. So this slide, if you can read, it shows very clearly how, with the photographs, this was the Ayush Human Rights Summer School, and then we have British Council delegation coming to Symbiosis Law School. A number of other summer schools which are highlighted here, including the one in USA. New Hampshire sent one of our students through their prestigious Franklin Pierce IP Center to NASA for an exposure program. This is because of a bilateral relationship that we were able to embark on that. So Sujata, are you able to join? So these are the snapshots of some of the student exchanges. See them in front of those beautiful buildings and participating in deliberations in those various institutions in Geneva, and then also in Hague in the Netherlands. So some of these photos are evidences of their program. You also have some students having visited Dublin and some in Cork as part of a bilateral relationship for the semester exchange, and then in France, then in Strasbourg, and also in Germany and Australia. With the Deakin University, we have an MOU, so one student was able to attend that for a semester-long program. These are the snapshots of our research project, which we talked about. Nearly 1 crore we get in this for 3 years. And 60% of my faculty have been trained there in content development as well as pedagogy. So this has enabled us to launch those value add courses. So this is in Italy, in Jagiellonia in Poland, and Sofia in Bulgaria, that our faculty, along with the other partners, including some faculty from Jindal, were trained in developing these skills and content. We'll go to the next slide. This is a very, these are some other snapshots of our interactions while validating the courses and evaluating courses. So comprehensive teaching skills in course development and curriculum development were shared. This is another prestigious project in Ioannina in Greece, which is a little island beyond Athens. And this project is a very, very interesting project where we developed 21st century teaching skill lab in Symbiosis Law School, Pune, where school teachers as well as teachers from the higher education will benefit in next 2 years. And there will also be policy impact generated out of the work that we do by creating roundtables and policy reform deliberations. So these snapshots show us with the governors, etc. These are the wonderful resource persons who have been with us, who have helped us. I mean, Maria has been a seasoned political scientist who has been the leader of the project. We have these professors from various sister institutes, and two professors from Sweden were the ones who helped us develop our research project grant proposals. So they have trained all our faculty, and our training we have cascaded to other 8 faculty of the university. So our internationalization is a 360-degree kind of comprehensive initiative, which is enriching not only law school, but also the university. Let's go to the next slide, please. So Professor Arya has brought snapshots from the law theater. Our law theater themes have been very interesting. We look at the sensitive and controversial themes, such as the refugee theme of Rohingya, based on the decided Supreme Court cases, or the sex workers' plight in the Buddhadev Karmaskar case, or we have had the cases of domestic violence and marital rape. Our model United Nations attracts huge response every year during the season of our student festival, the Simbo. Let's go to the next one. So we have a very prestigious student law International Law Student Association chapter as part of our internationalization. So it is International Law Student chapter, Law Student Association chapter, which encourages this MAN and also international law research and mooting. So this is how we put our students with global competencies. That's where we are a cutting edge law school. So with that, I hand it over to Dr. Rupal for highlighting our research culture. Please.
Yes, thank you, ma'am, so much. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, please.
Yes. So good evening to all the panelists and the students who have joined us today. I'm going to be introducing to you the Symbiosis Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research, which is called as SCALSAR. SCALSAR center stages the research at Symbiosis Law School, Pune. It was established in 2012 under the leadership of a director, ma'am, Dr. Shashikala Gurpur. It is the main body that looks at advanced legal studies and research, right from the undergrad to the postgraduate students and also the PhD scholars. It is responsible for enhancing knowledge and skills. It ensures the skills training programs and also conducts several workshops and conferences. Research activities such as research projects, whether they are collaborative research projects or interdisciplinary research projects, whether it comes to research conferences, research training, publications, all this is being overseen by Skalsar department. Now, under Skalsar, we also have the one-year LLM program, which is monitored by the Center for Postgraduate Legal Studies, which is in compliance with the UGC guidelines. The LLM students have to write their dissertation under the guidance of expert faculty and are facilitated to publish their original research in top indexed journals. So this is the kind of facilitation that comes from the Center for Postgraduate Legal Studies for LLM students. Further, Scalsar also facilitates the PhD coursework, which is conducted at SLS Pune for the Faculty of Law, Symbiosis International University. And currently, as Director Ma'am mentioned, we have full-time 3 junior research fellows who are pursuing their PhD at SLS Pune. The interactions with these junior research fellows of these students also creates a very facilitating environment for research and learning. In regard to the research and publications, for the last few years, we have been publishing our flagship journals, that is Symbiosis Contemporary Law Journal and Symbiosis Student Law Review with LexisNexis publishers. However, we are now moving from physical journal to the online medium. And so we are now aiming only at mostly Scopus and Web of Science indexed journals, also the UGC care listed journals. So we are slowly grooming. You will see in the further slides later how the numbers have been moving from the normal regular publications to high index, top indexed journals. So several research avenues are provided to the students by the Skalsar and through the academic and research body, which is headed by senior students in our college. So here you can see that under the Skalsar you have research centers, so centers of specialization for the advanced legal studies, research and consultancy. These are Center for Public Law, Center for Private Law, Center for Technology and Innovation Law, Center for Corporate Law, Center for Justice Education, and lastly, the Center for Transnational and Global Legal Studies. So these are various centers under which we carry out our research projects and consultancy projects. Currently, we are having around 9 national projects and 3 international projects. So just to give you a little glimpse of the kind of projects that we have. So for example, in the national level, we have 2 projects which are granted by ICSSR, which is Government of India. And the funding is to the tune of 8.5 lakhs and 5.25 lakhs for both these projects. One of the project is dealing with law, disaster and trafficking, tracing the interlinkages. And the other is law, gender and disasters, a case study of drought in Bundelkhand. Another very interesting project which we have been able to achieve is under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, which has come to us through the National Law School, Bangalore, is on project on chemical and waste management. There are 3 other minor research projects which are going on. One on water policy and water pollution, water resource management. Another is dealing with how the Goa's transition happened from the continent to the common system. And one more, which is very interdisciplinary, which is cyber investigation of financial frauds in Pune city. So these are the kinds of national level projects that we are part of and which we are carrying out. There are international projects, as Gurpal ma'am our director ma'am has already mentioned. However, just to emphasize on what are the kinds of projects, these are international projects which are funded by the European Union, European Commission, under the Erasmus Plus Key Action to Capacity Building Higher Education projects. The first project that we backed was called Eurasia, which means European studies revitalized across Asian universities. You have seen the glimpses earlier. Our director ma'am showed several visits. Now we have developed around 28 different courses which are linked to European Union. And we are going to be looking at comparative studies, advanced studies under these courses. Further, the next project that we have bagged under the European Union is the teacher training with specialization on life and information technology skills. Here we are trying to inculcate the 21st century skills into all kinds of different subjects for teaching, because we have to learn about new platforms. We have to, the modern age group, we need to engage them and ensure their overall development. So how can we use the technology in their overall development is our focus here. And moving forward to the third project is about developing a master's level program in international law and post migration. So these projects, not only the faculty members but also student members get a chance to, or the students get a chance to, side by side work with faculty members. Moving forward to the Community Legal Care Center and the Community Legal Care and Literacy Cell. Under this CULSAR, we have this Community Legal Care Center, which is manned by the faculty members and the expert lawyers and our consultants. We provide consultancy, legal aid, and training programs. Now, in all of these activities, we have a student body, which is the Community Legal Care and Literacy Cell, which is a recasting of the legal aid cell, basically. And if you look at the kind of activities that we have under the cell, then we have divided these activities in four different aspects. One is the educative aspect, that is providing awareness programs and campaigns to improve legal literacy in community, thus fulfilling the developmental goals identified by the United Nations. Then we have the legal clinics. That is, SLS Pune provides opportunities to students to work in 21 different areas of legal clinics, some of which are, clinics that are run for prisoners, for senior citizens, for women, for children. When the students work in these clinics, they also develop interviewing skills and also are able to provide legal aid and consultancy to the needy people. Here they also learn the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, which is the most promoted nowadays and preferred over litigation. So that is one aspect. The third aspect is research skills and creation of new knowledge. So when they are working on the field with community, they also come across certain issues which are ground level issues, and they identify the issues and gaps in the law. And this leads to good research papers and creation of new knowledge, and also a path to how the laws can be implemented in a better way, or they can be modified or amended. So our students also have created such knowledge, which has led to suggestions being submitted to Law Commission and various other lawmaking bodies. So this is another aspect that the legal aid promotes. The institutional social responsibility is the fourth aspect, wherein they undertake extension activities with our main body, that is Symbiosis Community Outreach and Program and Extension Center. We collaborate with them. We have been going about in different villages, conducting legal awareness programs, campaigns, and also giving one-on-one consultancy when our clients come to legal aid clinics over there. Plus, we have a collaboration with Pune District Legal Service Authority, which has funded the last 2 years. It has funded 2 lakh rupees for our program with the Yerwada Central Prison, where we have our Symbiosis legal aid program, and our students go there and solve the legal issues, draft bail applications, and learn hands-on learning along with helping the under trials and the prisoners over there. So this is some of the role, and we also engage our students with various other awareness programs, as Abhijit Vasmatkar sir has already mentioned these, like going to schools and imparting them understanding about gender issues, consumer awareness. Also, we have our collaborations with various NGOs like Ashta No Koi, where women self-help group and some girl children have been trained to in legal and financial literacy programs. And our work is ongoing always in these community programs. So you can just see now a few charts in front of you, where these are just the outcome of the faculty research, which shows that journal papers, this is just the record of the last 10 years. So before 10 years also we have some records of publications. You can see journal papers are 249, books, monographs are about 10, book chapters are 15, case studies published, proceeding papers published. So our faculty is, and if I have to tell you in terms of quality, then we have actually moved forward. You can see the quality, how it has enhanced in student publications also. So you can see in 2015, we had 2 Scopus publications. These are top indexed publications in 2015, whereas in 2019, we have 17 Scopus indexed publications by our students. So how the quality enhancement, even in students, is taking place. So the research culture is just getting better. And we have subjects such as legal research writing and various other training and assessments oriented towards research, which facilitate and create the requisite research culture. Further, there is encouragement to research and publish, which we provide in terms of reimbursement for participation for conferences, and also we provide incentives for publication in top index journals. So if a student has published in Scopus papers, then there is an incentive of 2,000 rupees per paper, and similar such incentives have been created for them. And also when they participate in good conferences, then reimbursement process is also in place in Symbiosis Law School Pune. So last 4 years, we have seen that there have been major impacts of research, and there is increase in the number of faculty and student publication has moved in from physical to online, more accessible, and top indexed journals. There has been increase in participation of national international conferences and seminars. There is an improved infrastructure in our institute with online databases. We have several online databases like Westlaw, Hein Online, JSTOR, Manupatra, and so many other such research databases where our students can really create very good research papers having access to these online databases. And the most powerful impact has been that our recommendations through the research have been accepted by the Law Commission and various other lawmaking bodies. Thus, lastly, I would just like to say that SLS Pune plays a very important role in research integration in courses that are learned, in learning and creating research avenues. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr.
Over to
Rupal.
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So quickly, before I invite a parent, Mrs. Vinita Sharma, I would like to comment on 2 questions. One question is, somebody was asking about the quality of faculty. So I want to say that 60% of our faculty are internationally exposed. Out of our 51 faculty, 3 of them are patent attorneys. Dr. Rupal is one of the qualified patent attorneys. So we had the courage of developing our IP cell, which advises university, which has facilitated many patent registrations and IP development. So we have journalists co-opted as a visiting faculty. We have engineers on our payroll. So some of our adjunct faculty have been judges, very lead lawyers who have had a long stint in banking, etc. So our faculty resource is very rich. We do not take anybody as a regular full-time faculty unless they have qualified net examination. Net examination is very difficult to pass, or they are qualified as PhD. So large percentage of our faculty are PhD holders, large percentage are internationally taught experience holders, and they have these diversified talent. Some of them would have passed some levels of judgeship as well, but they would have decided to come back to academics. Then there was also a question on opportunities available. We will be, we have already showcased through various presentations. In every avenue that we discussed, students and faculty act as partners. Faculty facilitate, but students lead. So we have, out of our budget, large chunk dedicated to student development. As we told you, more than 1 crore on learning resources, more than 1 crore on sporting avenues, sports activities, more than 1 crore on mooting sponsorship. In the country, in a year, about 80 to 120 mooting events happen, and our students are sent with our cost. And internationally, earlier we used to send for only prestigious moots. This year we have had more than 10 events where students were sponsored to the tune of 60%. In an unusual case of students qualifying in global competitions in top notch, we have had that contribution to a greater extent as well from the college. So you can imagine, and now we have made allocations for research sponsorship as MUN internationally. So I think your two questions are answered. Now I hand over the podium to a parent, Mrs. Vinita Sharma. Madam, you can introduce yourself and you can tell us about your experience to the parents who are in your shoes. You were in their shoes probably last year, so you can share your experience. Over to you. Thank you.
Good evening. I would like to thank Dr. Gurpur for giving me this opportunity to interact with all the parents and students, rather let's say youngsters who might join here as students. A lot of it has been covered by director already regarding the academics and the college. I would not like to focus on that. I'll just go about my own experience of how I first met director and interacted with the faculty of Symbiosis, my experiences of Pune city as a whole. See, when I look at a college, I don't look at it independently. For me, an education institution is also a place where my child is going to live, study, build up as a person. So it's I have to consider everything. And when my son decided very late that he was very much interested in law and he wanted to give a shot to it, so we thought, let's go for NLU. And then my friend suggested that, yes, try NLU, but there are some very top-notch private colleges with some with very good reputation. Why don't you go for those? And it's then we decided that, okay, if it's going to be NLU, it's got to be the top 2 or 3, or we are going to go for Symbiosis Law College in Pune. And just on a hunch, on the advice of one of my friends, I decided to give a visit to Pune just to see how the college is. We had heard about Symbiosis long time back when I myself was a student. That time it was more famous for MBA and other courses. And I just want to check out the law college. And let me tell you, I was not disappointed at all. The moment I stepped into Pune city, my experience was, it was a city of students. It was a city which was reeking of education. And it was a city which was very friendly to youngsters, very safe. And then when I went to the college, I realized that everybody was so warm, so academic oriented. My first impression was very good, and it's been now sort of 1 year. I have not been let down. Now, coming to my son, what's his experience been? Well, let me tell you that he's feeling very positive minded. The academics have not been easy, let me tell you, but he has grown as a person. He's become more disciplined in his academic life. And I see him studying independently. There was a time when he would be asking us for a lot of advice. We were sort of always hovering around him. But after some time, we realized that he has grown as a person, able to stand on his own feet. If there was anything he needed advice on, the faculty was there, office staff was there. Everybody was so much willing to chip in and to help out. It was very wonderful experience. And let me tell you, for a parent who's staying far away from Pune, and this was the first time I was visiting the city, it helped a lot. Sending away your child, I mean, that so far away is not an easy task. You have to think about the college, the place of stay, how will he live? What will he do when he's free? Will he have good company? I find that the college has students from all walks of life, but all of them are so much disciplined, very helpful individuals. The second thing is that the college keeps you busy. If it's not studies, it's social activities or something related to extracurricular activities. Or college also ensures that you have a lot of clubs and something or the other going on. It's a very live place. Even in the late hours, I would see the students sitting, either studying singly or together in groups. It was a very pleasant sight. Thereafter, a couple of times, I also visited the faculty just to have a chat with them to see whether my son was doing okay. There are a lot of things when the kids don't tell you about what's happening in their colleges. And I realized that they had a very high opinion of him. They always talked about him as if he was very positive minded, which he is actually. But to see how the faculty thinks of your child and how much concerned they are about him developing into a well-rounded personality, that's very touching for a parent like me. And I'm very grateful to them. I'm sure you all have these worries about where will the child live, how is the fooding like. Let me assure you, I have personally seen there's a very good hostel for girls and very safe, and it's like there are a lot of people who are assisting there. I don't think any parent will have any problem on that front. My son per se chose to stay in a PG. Again, as I mentioned, Pune is a very nice conservative city. And, the people there, when they see that there are students staying, they take extra care, extra precaution. I would have the PG people ringing me and telling me that my son is well and fine, asking after my welfare. Even when the college is closed, I've had the PG in charge ringing and asking me whether my son is with me and okay, and we are taking precautions. So, the people make the place. And of course, the reputation of the college itself. The director, madam, has already, informed you in detail about the academics and what all they're doing nationally and internationally. So this has built up a confidence in my child. He is looking forward to completing this 5-year course and then going out into the world, making his own place. He is definitely a changed person, very much outgoing, very confident. He's weighing his options. He likes to take the first step himself. Of course, he consults us, we are the parents, but to see him grow up as an individual, the credit goes to the college and of course to the director. Very grateful because she has been giving personal care to a lot of students, not only to my child. I've seen that whenever you enter her office room, there are some of the other students, they're consulting her, taking advice from her. She treats, I think, all of them as her children. That's wonderful. You would be having a lot of queries regarding whether the child will do well academically, about placements. I think placement was also discussed here. Well, the child will do academically because the peer pressure is there. The college does not put pressure. It's his friends, his or her friends, who will be guiding, assisting, prompting. And of course, in such an environment, any student would like to perform well. It's almost like a group working together very positively. So as for placements, I'll simply say that do not judge a college by placement. Symbiosis does have good placement record, but I feel that if your child has performed well academically, done the right internships, and of course associated with a lot of institutions and NGOs and all, and build up a nice CV, any good organization will happily take this child, because I believe law is doing very well in today's day, will do so in the future also. So I think this would be a right choice for your child. Best wishes.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. It is very, very encouraging, and thank you for the kind words. I would like to add 2 points here. Today, we had a great news of one of our student teams being selected to represent India in the world level of International Criminal Court mooting. And also that we have had the privilege of shaping our students in such a way that they become complete individuals, good human beings, and also very competent professionals. So now I request Dr. Shelke to come by to broadly lay out the essentials of admission procedure, because we have had large number of questions about the essentials of admission procedure. Over to Dr. Shelke.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon. As it is mentioned previously, there are 3 programs at SLS Pune, and there is diploma course also. First, I'll start with the BA, BBA, LLB honors. So as it is seen in the slide also, there are 2 steps. Step number 1, there is Symbiosis law admission phase SLAT, and those who are not paid for it, they have to pay for 1,750, and it is extended to 2020. I'll explain about the SLAT also, because there were many questions with respect to SLAT. Step number 2 is about personal interaction and writing ability test, known as PIVAT, and date for payment of which is extended to 30th May 2020 right now. For example, SLS Pune has 2 programs, BALLB honors, BBA honors. Your choice to apply for any one program also. In order to register for both or either of program, you can visit www.symlaw.ac.in or www.act-test.org. This website you can visit. After that, there were a lot of questions about the fee structure. For BA and BBA, fee can be paid in 2 different installments, first installment and second installment. For first installment, you have to pay 1 lakh. Second installment, you have to pay 1,72,500 rupees. So total fee goes to 3,55,000. Apart from this is academic fee. There is hostel fee for those who are staying in the hostel. That is 1,95,000. Also, so that is fee for BA, BB, LLB. And there are multiple questions with respect to SLAT pattern on SLAT pattern. So SLAT is divided in 5 different groups. First group is logical reasoning. Sir, can you go to the next slide, please? Hello.
Next slide. Yeah.
Next slide. Next slide. Yes, sir. Here only. So SLAT is divided in 5 different categories. First is logical reasoning. Second is legal reasoning. Third is analytical reasoning. Fourth is general knowledge. And every component is for 30 marks, and 30 questions will be asked. So it is for 150 marks, and in 150 minutes you have to solve. So you'll get 1 minute per question. Apart from that, there is VAT, PIVAT, that is personal interaction and writing ability test. PIVAT is for 50 marks. PI, that is personal interaction, is 30 marks, and VAT, that is writing ability test, it is conducted by internal and external panel member, and external panel members are normally from the industry or academics. In VAT writing ability test, you have to write a short essay on the topic given. Now, PI is further divided in 5 different parts. One is first is about academic achievement, and 5 marks are assigned to that. Second is co-curricular, additional qualification, awards and recognition, and 4 marks are allocated for that. Third component in the pie is extracurricular activities, and 4 marks out of communication skill, and 12 marks are allotted for that. Fifth and last component for personal interaction is general poise and personality, and 5 marks are allotted for that out of 30. So this is bifurcation of 5. Now there were questions about the ability test, and this writing ability test is further bifurcated in 3 different components. 8 marks are allotted to that. And second component is analytical ability, references provided, clarity of thought, and 8 marks are assigned for that. And there is grammar, coherence, and handwriting. Only 4 marks are allotted for that. So it is 20 marks. So 30 mark 5 plus 20 mark WAT, total 50 marks. What's observing and retired defense personnel also, because 5% reservation is provided for that in BA, BB, LLB. So the people who are working in army, what's of service and retired defense personnel. Those who are working in defense in capacity of engineer, supervisor, head for the purpose of 5% reservation. Similarly, paramilitary services like CRPF of central governments are not considered. So those who are working as soldier in army, navy, or air force are considered under this category. Second question with respect to this, that what type of documents are required for serving a defense personnel? You have to provide certificate from Jilla Sainik Board, and in case of retired person, you have to provide service book wherein name of the ward is mentioned and dependent card at the time of PIVAT. Now this was with respect to LLB. Now there is a 1-year LLM course also. For that purpose, All India admission test is conducted. All India admission test is divided in 2 parts. First is written test, second is personal interaction, that is part. Now written test is divided further in 2 parts. Question. Object of written test is to test teaching aptitude, research aptitude, legal aptitude, and basic legal knowledge. For this, you can study subject or courses like research methodology, legal reasoning, legal aptitude, jurisprudence, constitution, IPC, public international law, human right, corporate law, that include contract and company laws also, and then family and environmental law. All this information is also provided on the website. You can visit the website if you are missing something in between. So for written test, 70% weightage is being provided. And for personal interaction, 30% weightage is provided. The object of personal interaction is to test personal attribute, fitment of the person, work experience, publication, and statement of the purpose. About the fee of the LLM, again like LLB, you can pay it in 2 different installments. First installment is 77,500 plus 10,000 deposit. Second installment is 77,500, so it goes to 1,65,000. Now, apart from that, deadlines etc. are mentioned on the website also. So these are tentative deadline right now. So online application will close right now as per tentative deadline on 27th May 2020. And payment is also closing on 27th May 2020. After that, there is announcement of shortlisting for AIAT, and that will happen on 3rd June 2020. And all India admission test will be conducted on 7th June, and there will be personal interview or interaction on 10th June 2020. So that is tentative schedule. So there were questions about specialization in LLM. Bindu madam has already mentioned this, I'll repeat. There are 8 specialization and 80 seats for the LLM 1 year. First specialization in business and corporate law. Second specialization is constitution and administrative law. Third specialization in LLM is innovation, technology, and intellectual property law. Fourth specialization in LLM is criminal law and security law. Next specialization, that is fifth specialization, is human right law. And next specialization is law, policy, and good governance, followed by family law, and then union legal studies. So these are 8 specialization in LLM course, that is 1 year LLM. Apart from that, we have 3-year LLB course also, and similar examination is conducted for 3 year, known as All India Admission Test. Again, this All India Admission Test, like LLM, is divided in 2 parts. First part is known as writing sample, or WS, wherein topic based on socio-legal, political, legal, or with respect to current affairs, etc., will be given, and you have to write essay on that. There is no objective test for LLB 3-year course, whereas there is objective test. After that, there is personal interaction for LLB, and object of personal interaction is to test the personal attribute, fitment of the person, statement of purpose, reference letter, academics and legal aptitude, etc. And as Director Madam has mentioned, there is psychometric test also for 3-year LLB. Now, about the fees of 3-year LLB, again, it can be paid in 2 different installments for first year. First installment is 1,20,000 plus 10,000 deposit. Second installment is 1,20,000. So total fee of 3-year LLB is 2,50,000 per year. And the dates again of LLB are subject to change. But right now, tentative date is online application closes on closes on 22nd May 2020. Shortlisting up for AIT will be announced on 30th May 2020, and All India admission tests will happen on 1st June 2020. Thank you, madam. Hope to see you in the campus. Over to Director.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shelke. Now I request, although we have a slide here of our 2 girl students, one who was a Cambridge Paute Fellow, who is currently a faculty in some other law school, and Aishwarya Amar, and along with her, there is somebody who is not in the photo, is Sneha Priya in Oxford and Cambridge. All of them have been groomed here, and they got into the global competency of getting admission in these Ivy League places, and they have been also successful in getting good placements. So now we have one participant with us who is our fresh alumna, immediate past student board president, Ishwar Singh Sethi, whom we hold very dear to heart, like all our students, but as a special student. So Ishwar has been successful in getting admission to Cornell. So over to Ishwar, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ishwar. I think the best way to describe Symbiosis Law School Pune is as a melting pot of varied cultures and where everyone strives for excellence together. One of my fondest memories of law school will be when we enacted a constitution for the student body. It was a challenging task to make a constitution which was acceptable to the entire college of more than 2,000 students. The whole process, which was overseen by legal experts, filled with debates and parliamentary procedures, gave us a deeper understanding of how law is legislated and interpreted. To supplement the theoretical knowledge gained in the classroom, SLS has extremely sought after programs like the European Legal Studies course and the course on Asian Legal Studies. The Asian Legal Studies course I undertook made me interested in the law practices in the East due to its innovative teaching methodology. Another interesting initiative which helped me develop my research and organizational skills is the Farmer Law and Policy Reform Program, which is trying to find legal solutions to the plight of farmers who are driven to suicide due to droughts. The group aims to present its findings to the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. I learned to write academic papers and broaden my perspective of the law by being able to assist in the functioning and editing of 2 academic journals at Symbiosis Law School, which feature legal scholarship from all over the world. Further, I got the chance to interact with partners of big multinational law firms through courses held in SLS, such as the Herbert Smith Freehills Oxford International Lecture Program. This has helped me enhance my research skills, their application, and network with foreign lawyers. We were also given the responsibility to organize and perform with the factual and legal accuracy a theatrical performance we call Law Theatre in college. It was based on the Rohingya Muslim refugee crisis and was presented in front of the annual International Criminal Court Summer School at National University of Ireland by our esteemed director. I got the opportunity to intern at places where the work was challenging yet fascinating due to the exposure I got in college. They have helped me develop a deeper understanding of the law and its application in practice. I interned under judges of the Supreme Court, including the Chief Justice of India, and conducted research on the law and contributed meaningfully to a multitude of cases traversing a variety of disciplines, including the Triple Talaq case, the right to privacy case, the abrogation of Article 370, which is the Kashmir Special Status case, and the Ayodhya Ram Mandir case, all of which had great constitutional significance. The International Association of Law Schools and Global Audience Forum held at SLS gave me the opportunity of interacting with alumni and faculty of colleges from across the globe. I even interacted with professors from Cornell who made me understand how Cornell would be best suited for me to further develop my skills. The interaction I had was so profound that I applied to Cornell this year and have secured admission there this fall. I believe everyone would benefit from the rigorous academic training as well as global perspective that Symbiosis Law School Pune provides. One is transformed into a globally engaged citizen by interacting with peers from different legal jurisdictions. Further, the advantages of contributing to academic deliberations in an internationalized culture, unparalleled quality of resources, well-stocked library, and faculty par excellence are intellectually stimulating. It is for these reasons I found my time at Symbiosis Law School holistically rewarding. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ishwar. That must have dispelled many doubts because they were wondering what is the routine in the college. Is it better to choose Symbiosis Law School Pune or some other private law school located in Pune, etc.? So I hope they'll be able to make their decision because of your valuable contribution. Thank you. Now, before we move to the end of this presentation, come interaction, next slide, please. Amit. The next slide shows some of the quotes of important people who have visited the law school, like Justice Dermot O'Scanlan, who has visited us during the Global Audience Forum. We have introduced some judges to that forum from India and Sri Lanka as well. And then General Meston, who is a retired Major General, who spoke about the way in which our students and our institutional character was, and Ishwar's own quote. Shall we go to the next slide, please? Some of our star alumni, as you see here, IRS, then 2 IRS, and then we have sitting judges, and we have a fourth one whose photo we don't have here, Mr. Sampath Bulusu, who is the alumni convener, who is a general manager legal in Shell Hazira. Shall we go to next slide? So this is long ago, this boy Parth Dikshit was identified as a very wonderful researcher, and today Parth is working in a law firm and is identified as a legal genius who conceptualized our moot court problems and things like that. So at that time, Madam Bedi had identified him as a gifted researcher. So let's go to the vision that we have. We want to look at more and more global program. Already some of our courses are comparatively poised. And then we established a skill center generically, but we want to establish special skill center. Then internationalization, we want to do, already we have 2 area studies program. We want to expand into more. We want to look at more interdisciplinary law programs like law and international relations, etc. And establish chairs with the endowments is what we are looking at. And eventually pose ourselves as a global law school. So with that, I come to the end of the presentation, and now we will start answering some of the questions. Thank you very much for being a part of this wonderful interaction. And I also thank my esteemed panelists for their time and facilitation of this long discussion. One of the latest questions or fresh questions that came to the chat room was, is there a reservation of seats? As it is mentioned in your bulletin, we have reservation of seats already. About the current pattern of SLAT, already Dr. Shelke has answered. It must be very clear to you. You must be wondering about entrance examination. That is going to happen, and the date is going to be announced the moment the uncertainty of other national examinations is cleared. It will apply to the 3-year LLB as well. The moment universities are clearing their dates for examination, Now, about the reservation question, across the board, we have 15% reservation for SC candidates, 7% for 7.5 for ST candidates, 5% for defense dependents, 2% for physically specially abled, and we've got 2 per program seats for Kashmiri migrants. So there was a question on that. Per program, 2 seats. Because until it is waived off by the policy, we have to continue our reservation. So that reservation continues. You must be wondering whether there is going to be interviews and writing sample, especially for 3-year LLB and LLM. At least we can do online examination, but what do we do for the 3-year LLB, etc. And also for the post SLAT selection. We will announce everything once this dates are coming to our hands, and we will, for the time being, we will request you to be prepared for the personal interview and writing ability test. Somebody was asking about BBA examination and SLAT examination. Can a person give both? Yes, you can. That is why we have facilitated the examinations in the morning and the afternoon. And the dates will be the same dates, whichever date we announce. On that same day, Symbiosis law aspirants and Symbiosis general degree aspirants will go for examination in the morning and in the afternoon. Then there is one question on how many numbers are going for SLAT. Last year we had around 20,000 students. This year also we are expecting a little more than 20,000. So year on year we have any variation between 5 to 10% of the previous year's number. Somebody was asking, is there a separate hostel of the college? For all the girls, the hostel is available when they come in for the first year. Then the students tend to remain making their choice. Some remain, some move out into apartments with their friends to experience independent life as a kind of training for their own job and all that. So we have exclusive wonderful hostels within the campus for all the girls, and for the boys limited number of seats are available. Rest of the private hostels we have outsourced, and we have done our own assessment of these hostels, and the information is put on our website. So it is for the parents to take a look at that information and choose. Then somebody was asking whether being a student in SLS Pune, will they get support for company secretary course? Yes, in our induction itself, we encourage students to take up various other extra qualification. Nowadays, we are going to recommend online courses also. For example, the student Parth you saw, he, because of his financial difficulty at home for 1 year, could not go to law school. So in that 1 year, he did multiple courses and he became intellectually so competent that by the time he entered the law school, he emerged as one of the best legal brains. So definitely we support this top-up learning. Somebody asked, what is corporate law? I think by now it is very clear. Corporate law is that group of subject which deals with body corporates. These corporate bodies are predominantly companies as far as our laws are concerned, but we also have non-company kind of corporates like non-governmental organizations, partnership firms, limited liability partnerships. So the law which governs that, which could be regarding the formation, running, management and dissolution, which is the Companies Act. It could have intellectual property law, it could have contract law, other commercial laws, investment law, trade law, everything incorporated within the basket of corporate law. BBA, LLB, what are the employment opportunities? In terms of employment opportunity, both for BBA, LLB and BA, LLB, there is no difference at all. We have had BBA, LLB graduates doing extremely well in corporate jobs, BLLB graduates doing extremely well in corporate jobs, BBLLB graduates getting into litigation and doing extremely well, but their talent is demanded in a specialized area, let us say taxation, etc., because they have a very good knowledge of running the balance sheet and also business communication and those typically business related competencies. So it is the competencies that matter, whether you learn it in the college or in the internship or by your personal interest. Then somebody was asking, is there a management quota seat in the law school? No, there is no management quota seat. Is it BA or BBA LLB which are recommended by us? We recommend both. It is you who have to choose. We have given you some clues in the bulletin that if you are a student, you have to decide on the basis of three. One is, would you like to continue in mathematical kind of subjects? Because in BBA LLB, statistics is mandatory, quantitative method is mandatory, accounts is mandatory. Some students get fed up with mathematics and calculations. So BBA LLB is not for such a person. And then yeah, some students are from science, but they want to know whether they can choose BA LLB. It's your own choice, because BA LLB has got humanities subjects, BBA LLB has got management and business related subjects. A student who has had the commerce background, whether that student can come into BA LLB, you can, nothing is a limit. But we advise that once you make the choice, stick with the choice. I mean, you have to pay for the fee for the institute, and you have to pay separate fee for each of the programs, or you have to register for both. Somebody was asking the question, is there a better chance if I register for both? See, what has happened, this will answer other questions also. Every year we have 300 seats, 120 seats in BA LLB and 180 seats in BBA LLB. 2 years ago, it was 180 seats in BA LLB and 120 seats in BBA LLB. So that time, you know, the cutoff point was reverse. Like BBA LLB would have 107 as the cutoff point, BA LLB would have 104 as the cutoff point. Now that BBA LLB seats are more, BBA LLB cutoff point has become 104 and BA LLB cutoff point has become 107. Usually cutoff points are in the range of 101 to 108. So this is what I would like to say. So if you have registered for both, your chance of getting shortlisted for both is there, especially because there is a range of marks which are deciding the cutoff point. So I hope I have answered your question very clearly. Is it compulsory to pay fee of every course I selected to complete the form? I mean, this is a little technical glitch which we have asked the secretariat to look at. You can personally write an email or ask the call center to resolve. We have had 3 or 4 of such queries, so we request you to go directly there. Will there be an online exam? We cannot give a conclusive answer with whether there will be online exam, whether there will be online personal interview and writing ability test. Will the exam be home-based exam? We cannot give you any answer at this point. We are waiting for, as I told you, national top leadership decisions, top ministry decisions to make our decision. When will be the end? Again, I told you this will depend, because National Law School has announced June 21st. So you can imagine in that range only, if there is no change of policy by the government. If there is no clash of 12th exam or degree exam with our exams. Somebody is asking the question, question in the PIVAT. Usually in personal interview, whether it is BA LLB, BB LLB, 3-year LLB or LLM, the question asked is, why do you select this program and what is the inspiration for you, and what do you want, how do you want to contribute? Because law is basically public service. So we want to look at your commitment, your dedication, because we aim at creating the best law products which will help the legal system, rule of law, and this country, the economy, and also to help the next generation of students in our college. So we are looking at highly ethical students, we are looking at hardworking students, we are looking at very focused students, inspired students. So our questioning goes in that line. So if you make up an answer and be like a ready-made answer in the beauty pageant or something like that, we can immediately make out, because our experts are very well trained. We have our in-house faculty on the one side, and we have got corporate HR on the other side. and psychometric experts on the other side. So we can make out the genuine answer from the ready-made answer. So this is why we say be genuine when you're answering, then you may score a better point compared to your competitor. Now, you were asking the question, is there any mentoring for judicial service? Yes, as I told you, we have a scheme called Judge Scholars in Residence. Under that, retired High Court judges, retired Supreme Court judges come and spend a certain number of days with us on campus. At that time, they engage classes and be available to open discussion with the aspiring students. We have one or two local judges as well who keep coming, who have really inspired some students to prepare for judiciary and to cultivate that judge-like personality, which has transformed a couple of my students totally. In this current second year, I've got one girl student who has been highly inspired because of this. So somebody is asking, is fee the only tuition fee? That question has been answered by Atmaram sir. He has clearly laid out the tuition fee as well as the hostel fee. Yeah. Now, you have asked some questions on how is the mooting. We have answered that question. On ragging, we are very, very strict. We, in the law school, fortunately, we haven't come across any such case in the past. Even if there is a whimper of such case, we take it very seriously. And we intervene and we do the fact finding, and we have virtually been on the university committees addressing these cases. So we have a preventive mechanism, elaborate preventive mechanism. We have an information system, and we have a mechanism to deal with that also. So don't worry about ragging at all. And we have our very clear rapport with those private hostels also, where the students are staying. And any disciplinary problem on the part of the student, or any disciplinary issue where our student has been hurt, we immediately come to know and we make intervention, and parents are also openly dealing with us on these matters. What is a qualifying score? I answered. Somebody asked about name change. Name change, the moment you bring the document to us, we inform the university. I would say that don't engage in any name change till your exam transition is over. After that, you will be with us for 5 years. Easily you can do that. And we immediately implement it at the university level. Then somebody was asking, will the college open, or will the exam be in third week of June? Will anything be postponed? As we told you already, all the dates on our website are showing us to be updated soon, because we are anticipating some announcement by the government, and based on that, our schedule will be planned, so that you are not at an inconvenience when our exam clashes with your qualifying exam of 12th or degree. Then will it be traveling to Pune for interview? This also will be announced, because we don't see the situation relieving till about end of June, so easily. So I want to answer a set of other questions in continuum, that even our reopening we will do based on when the exam will happen. Usually from the date of the exam, reopening cycle is of 2 months. This time we will look at reopening cycle from the date of exam within a month. But then that reopening may not happen offline. It may happen online, because we want the entire crowd of the students to be allowed to come in, because we see government making a step-by-step phase-out kind of socialization, So it may be that only 50% people can come, only 50% faculty can come. So we request you to be prepared for first month of orientation and induction to law school life, and your curriculum to happen online. It may happen in the month of July, or it may happen in the month of August, depending on your qualifying exams dates. Somebody asked me in the 3-year LLB, and even in the CBSE and ICSE, etc., what if my results are not announced till August? There is a provision for tentative admission. Usually admissions are tentative until your eligibility is cleared by the university, by looking at your marks card and your university qualifying certificate. So in case you don't qualify and your certificates are not produced within those eligibility deadlines, usually eligibility deadlines are 2 months from the admission. In this year's special case, we may extend it. So some parents are asking, do you think the whole semester will be gone? We will not allow any semester to go. We will leverage on the technology, we will leverage on our preparedness and multiple teaching methods and the brilliant kids that you have to keep the semester alive and not to create a gap in the educational careers of your wards. So please be assured. And then somebody was asking, is there a negative marking in SLAT exam? No negative marking. Then, so classes after lockdown, I have answered that question. Then, will there be any study material? What is the ranking? We have answered all those questions. Uh, uh, and then, will exams clash? I have answered. We will ensure that exams do not clash, even in the state boards, in the national boards, in the universities. We will ensure that for your respective examination. Then somebody was asking test registration and college registration at the time of registration. All these queries we request you to address to the university's test secretariat with copy to us by email. Yesterday, some queries which were there, we have already brought into their attention. But whenever you raise a query, please write your registration number so that and mobile number, so that there is a reference in the system for them to trace and respond to your query. So most of the questions we have answered in our, that's why our presentation took very long, because we incorporated questions into the presentation. Somebody or most of you have a little anxiety, we know, especially Bombay students and other places. What if I'm not able to get out of my city at all till, let us say, July or August? Online teaching is made available. Videos of lectures will be made available. You will continue to engage in the student life. Second question is, Pune is the most affected area. So will there be normalcy in life? There will be normalcy. Pune is affected area, but it is being tackled also. And you would have read the scientific information, whether it is Europe or China, there is a certain life cycle period within which life, I mean, this whole scare comes to an end and the life of the virus becomes weakened, and then normalcy slowly sets in. That is why we have to patiently wait, and we cannot give you any date, because it is something that is determined by the virus than us. So, and somebody was asking a question, should it be SLS or should it be some other private college? And why SLS? I think our presentation has given you all the answers. Our products like Ishwar and some of the slides we have shown are the testimony to you. The parent has come online and told you. So now the choice is yours. We don't have any right to disparage some other private law school and say we are better than them, because everybody has a trapping of goodness in our opinion. Then somebody was asking, yeah. Yeah, most of the questions I think we have answered about placement, about how will you commence next term, about scholarship, about accommodation. In case there is, I mean, this is for 3-year and LLM admission. In case DD cannot be done because now people can't get out and police will prevent you. So we have found a solution. You can do the net banking, or in case you cannot do net banking, you can do transfers. So these are the things. Then there was one student who was asking, if I'm an open university graduate, can I apply for 3 years? As long as your 10th exam and 12th exam are by regular stream. The Bar Council criterion is the immediate exam, pre-immediate exams. So if pre-immediate exams are regular and immediate exam is distance learning, you are still permitted. Then we have had a question on what is the difference between Symbiosis and national law schools. You know from the name itself that national law schools are universities, single disciplinary universities. Symbiosis Law School is a law school within the faculty of a multidisciplinary university. So which is best, which is not best, depends on, if you don't like knowing about law in the context of science, technology, by exposure, by floating credits that Dr. Bindu highlighted, then National Law School can be considered as best. There is no comparison between apples and oranges usually, but both are fruits. So it's up to you what you want to consume. Then there is, yeah, I think most of the questions I have covered about exam pattern, etc. Most of my efforts have been saved by my esteemed colleagues. And the last few intelligent questions which have come in last 2 hours also we have answered. And some of the questions are highly repetitive. we have answered. What is the scope of BA LLB and BBA LLB? Scope, as I told you, 130 types of legal careers have no difference at all. But a BBA LLB may be ideally suited for more demanding commerce-related legal practice. Because, once we set up our office as lawyers, we are generalists. Any kind of case can come to us. But with experience, with long-term experience, we may realize that there are only in certain areas that you're very good. Because some of us are extremely good in taxation law. Some of us taxation law, how much ever effort you do, we can never develop a love for taxation law. So over the years of practice, you may develop your aptitude in some area, your liking for some area. Depending on that, your scope gets varied. These are the kinds of deeper, intricate discussions which we have. Once you come to our college and become a student for 2 years, you will have some background in law. You would have had some exposure to the reality through internship. Then we will answer these questions. For the time being, I want to tell, for the benefit of all 3-year LLB and 5-year LLB student aspirants, that every year in our country, at least 70,000 law jobs are created. One. As a practitioner, if you want to enter the field and you want to use your law degree for public good, in our country, in the Legal Aid Services Act, 80% of the beneficiaries come from below poverty line. So there is plenty of work there. Aside from that, even if you simply visit the court and learn the procedures as an amateur apprentice lawyer for 2 years, in the third year, multiple job opportunities open up in various companies and organizations. Even for you to anchor in some kind of skill-based, like drafting specialization, like back office specialization, like litigation specialization, court relationship, referencing. So many opportunities come up as a law graduate. So it doesn't make any difference between BA-LLB and BBA-LLB. However, somebody who has got a liking, has a strength and a capacity in especially BBA-LLB related areas or BCom LLB related areas, and has got the penchant to become the civil corporate company secretary, or to become the CS, or to become the financial analyst, will have more ammunition in their barrage to get into better types of highly specialized careers. These highly specialized careers need a highly different kind of personality as well. So you have to test your self in those real situations in internship and find out what interests you. Unless there is interest, even if you have wonderful opportunity, you may not make the best in your life. So that you only can decide. And for BA-LLB, usually the tendency for BA-LLBs is, aside from becoming litigation lawyers, the tendency is to become more scholarly, to read more, to get into what we call as higher studies, to get into policy analysts, to become researchers. Whereas BBAs become the same in corporate research areas. So we don't distinguish the two. There are new avenues coming up. A lot of entrepreneurs who are using technology in the law field are coming up. There's a whole lot of scope. So there is one student who is asking the question, there is a provisional mark sheet from this, will that be sufficient? Yes, it will be sufficient. What is litigation law? Litigation is where you represent the case of a client. Again, that we have many divisions, You may be representing as the paid lawyer of a client. You may be representing as a lawyer whom government appoints to represent the client. You may be representing as a paid government servant as a public prosecutor. So such a field where you go and deal with the case to find a solution to the court process is litigation. Will LLB mark affect the admission? Yeah, Dr. Atmaram Chelke has already told you that eligibility percentage for both 5-year and 3-year course are 45%. But if you get better percentage, your undergraduate marks or your immediate qualifying mark. Now the 12th standard exam not being done, we may take 11th standard mark and 10th standard mark. They will qualify for 5 plus 5%. So in case of 3-year LLB, your 12th mark and your degree mark will qualify for 5 marks. So it is there out of 5. If you have 90 above, you will get full 5. If it is below, then proportionately you will get less marks. Certificates, he has already told you, Jilla Sainik Board and service book entry as a child. Yeah. Uh, how much time is provided for VAT? For writing ability test, the time we provide is about 45 minutes and the marks which are allocated is 20 marks. So 50% weightage is given to the entrance examination score, and your entrance examination is also the screening one, because top 2000 we qualify for next level. How many people are taken for the law courses? I told you 180 for BBA LLB, 120 for BA LLB. And in that there are reservations and categories. So let me take most of the questions we have answered. Only UAE student, I request you to write to the international office and we will also forward your query. For SLAT exam, you are not able to travel. If you are able to travel, it is good. If you are, it also depends whether you have qualified from a school in UAE. If you are qualified from a school in UAE, you need not have to travel. SLAT exam is given 10% weightage. So you can make a choice, but you can also take a proper counseling from the international office. So I already told you cutoff for SLAT has been for BALLB 100 and anything between 101 to 108 in both BALLB and BBALLB. Between, I'm giving you a range of last 5 to 6 years. Fees and scholarship. Fees, we have already given you the list. A scholarship is available for SC, STs, but then there is an income threshold. And then for meritorious, there are very few scholarships available. You have to be top 5 and top 9 for BALLB and BBALLB. And there are topper scholarship, one scholarship per batch out of 300, which is available. For that, you have to maintain, for all these scholarships, you have to maintain we call it as 80% equivalent score grade points in your every semester exam. The cutoff for AIAT, we don't announce, you mean the percentage, the qualifying percentage for LLM is 50%. The writing sample is separate for 3-year LLB because in 3-year LLB it is personal interview and writing sample. And in the personal interview, we are taking a psychometric test where you have to fill a questionnaire, and based on that, we decide your eligibility to join the college. You have to procure some reference letter. There was one student who said that I'm on vacation. I'm away from the college. How do I get? And I passed 2 years ago. We want, suppose the lockdown doesn't end, we want these reference letters to be obtained on the official email with the official signature. You know, email always has got the logo and the designation and the name of the person in the signature. We want an email with those kinds of evidences if you can't get a signed reference letter. So there are too many queries emerging, but most of the queries are more or less repetitive. So I request my other team members also, is there any query which is outside the purview of the questions I've answered and the presentation that we have given? How are internships arranged? Internships are arranged on the basis of internships which are offered by law firms or organizations. To them, we send the CVs which you have given in the format, and they make the selection. So rest of every student we encourage to find internship on their own also as a backup, and then compete in these limited internships as well, because some of these internships may convert into jobs. So these organizations look at your past credentials, they look at your profile, as Ishwar told, what kind of profile do you maintain, your CV, and they also interview you, how you come across in terms of your conceptual understanding, your personal attributes, agreeability. That is why they test you in internship. I hope I have answered your question. Would it be possible to repeat the breakup of marks for PIVAT? 20 marks for the written sample, 30 marks for the personal interview. In the personal interview, the breakup is based on your presentation style, your communication, your awareness exhibited as answer to the question, your earlier accomplishments such as your academic grade points in 10th and 12th, your extra qualification, because some little young age children also do some certificates and courses, the laurels, the recognition. We have had a lot of national swimming champions and state champions. So for state level honors, we have different set of marks. Central honors, we have different set of marks. So all these to be presented with evidence with your certificates. It is not mandatory to give SET along with SLAT. If you want to come to law, you have to give SLAT. If you want to try your luck at admission to BBA course, yeah, BSc Economics or Mass Communication undergraduation or design, then you go for the SET exam. Yes, there is the recording of the entire webinar. The link will be provided to you. A student who is taking, yes, we accept, provided your 10th is not on the open. See, if you're coming to 5-year law course, your 10th has to be regular. And if the 12th is open, it is acceptable. If you're coming to 3-year law course, your degree can be open, but till 12th you should have been regular. So this is the condition. Do all people who clear cutoff are taken to law? They are not directly taken. The cutoff qualifies you for the next level of personal interview and writing ability test. And then I told you, out of 20,000, we filter 2,000. Out of 2,000, we filter 300. Can I change SET to SLAT in application form? This question has to be directed to University SET Secretariat with the CC to us. Interview is mandatory in English. Of course, it is mandatory in English because a lot of our, once you enter the law school, 40% for undergraduates, 40% of the marks are internal. In internal, we design our assignments in such a way that 20% of the consideration is for your oral presentation. So communication skills in English is very, very important. Knowing the local language, we don't insist on knowing the local language, but knowing local language in India, in any region, is a big bonus for references, for meeting clients, for dealing with the problems. So any language in your kitty is very good for you. So after you come here also, we have a second language paper, and we also have we have a foreign language paper where you can also opt for Indian language. So a student can get the admission if the marks are not satisfactory. Answer is, if the 10th and 12th marks are not satisfactory, then you have to score in your other certificates and you have to score well in the examination, in the SLAT examination. Now about study material, we do not recommend. It will be ethically conflicting to recommend any study material. No, 2,000 students only for the Pune college are shortlisted for the next level. Other institutes like Noida, Hyderabad, because their seats are around 250, they may shortlist 1,500 students. So in each category, in each law school, depending on the seat, multiplied by 6 times or 8 times, we call for interview. When you opted for SLAT, you could not proceed, so you opted for SET. My suggestion is, please approach the University Secretariat by sharing your SET ID the ID which you have received, and mark a copy to us so that we follow up to give you a response. How much is needed for 10th and 12th? We don't say needed. Whatever you get will get you out of that 5 marks, 4 marks, 3 marks, 2 marks. Is there a NRI quota? We don't call it NRI quota, we call it international quota. 15% is the international quota. And substantial number of NRI students apply under international quota. However, the route for application for NRI quota for students who hold international passport but have done their qualifying 12th standard exam in India may not be getting that privilege. So you have to approach our international office specially. We don't deal with the eligibility criteria, etc. But we are guided by the international office. It's a very centralized admission that happens for all disciplines through the international office. So we request you to direct your query there. We do not talk much about 3-year LLB because it is only having law papers and it is a regular law program. All the details of the 3-year LLB have been provided on the bulletin in our website when you go in for admission details. In 3-year LLB, all the best practices of the 5-year LLB are followed, which we highlighted. Now, management quota, no, we said no. Defense quota, yes. We do not know what EWS reservation is. Is it economically backward class? We don't have that as of now. We don't have quota for OBC also. Previous question papers are not available. Will there be another webinar after? Yes, we plan to do a very short and sweet webinar, and this recording will be available. We will do a quick webinar to remind people. Today also, our last message is to remind you that those of you who have not registered for SLAT, please register. Those of you who have not registered for 3-year LLB or LLM, please register. Don't wait for the last minute and last few days because sometimes servers crash. When today also, our morning webinar crashed, server crashed because large number of people entered the chat room. So if you wait till the last minute, this is what happens. And sometimes, internet may be down. So don't wait till the last minute. So I have already answered your question, Redmi, that out of 150, qualifying range has been between 101 and 107 in last 3-4 years. So what we suggest is, please do your registration for the test and ensure, because unless you do the test, you can't apply for college. Even if you have applied, you will not be qualified. Even if you apply for the test and you get qualified, if you have not applied to the college, you will not be able to compete for the next level. We don't shortlist you. System doesn't shortlist you. So it's very important right away, if you have not done college registration and if you have not paid. And mind you, registering is not enough. Your registration becomes complete only when you pay. As on today, I would like to remind those of you, 20% of you who have registered but not paid. You have registered for the SLAT, you have registered for the college, registered for the program, but you have not paid. So please make that payment, because if you don't pay, if you are shortlisted, you have scored well, you will not be shortlisted for the next level. When we prepare the final list, we don't consider your name because system doesn't pick your name. Okay. So please make the payment. Loan facility available, yes, through nationalized banks, and we also give you certain tips. So that loan facility, we don't give the loan from the college. We help you to get loan from nationalized and other banks by providing you the official formatted letters as the banks want and projected fees for next 5 years, etc. See, if you, for NRIs, the cutoff point is based on their score. But if a student has done SLAT, then 10% weightage is added. So if you, let us say if you have scored 94, 95, then also it is competitive in NRIs. We have seen that. But if you have done your SLAT score reasonably well, 10% weightage is given. Is CLAT preparation enough for SLAT? I was reading that CLAT has changed its format. So please go by SLAT format. Where can you get sample papers? We don't provide any sample paper because each year we create new paper. The form is showing you set. So these are the technical glitches which you have to deal with the set secretariat and mark a copy to us. What is the format for SLAT? Our presentation clearly shows, you can go through the presentation, and our bulletin shows there are 5 divisions. It's objective type, fully objective, 150 questions to be answered in 150 minutes. 30 each in 5 divisions consisting of general awareness, analytical reasoning, logical reasoning, legal reasoning, reading comprehension. Can a person qualify for 3? Yes, because it is common test. You can qualify for 3. Then what? Then what means Symbiosis Law School Pune always has highest cutoff point. So normally the students who qualify here also, I mean, you know, we are calling 2000. So maybe after top 500, they may qualify in other sister law schools also. So you will have to decide based on, are you a student who wants to take up the challenge of honors degree or regular degree? Secondly, are you the one who wants to go to the most seasoned law school or a new law school? Your parents may choose based on proximity to the house, familiarity with the place, familiarity with the teachers, etc. So choice is yours, but make an informed choice. That's why we make the presentation. No OBC seats, please. So I request the team also to watch the questions, and if there is any question which has not been covered by us so far in the presentation or in my response so far, you can direct those questions. How would be the overall 5-year experience and result? You saw the result in Ishwar. Pivot, this is one good question. What if in one campus pivot happens both in LLM and LLB, or in LLB there is no such issue. In LLM and in 5-year law course, what if in one place, if such a situation happens? Answer is that we always in our system make provision for the person to accommodate. Okay, between law schools there is such a nice dialogue and understanding that we do not put our candidates at disadvantage. So don't worry about that. There is a question on my 10th is regular, 12th is open, BBA is regular. You have no issues because your BBA is regular. If your BBA was open, then I would have asked you, is your 12th regular? What is the hostel fee? Already provided to you. It is there in the bulletin also, on the website also. Format for SLAT, I have already highlighted. Go back to the bulletin. I hope all the answers we have given. Most of the questions are repetitive, and most of the questions we have answered in our presentation as well as individually. If there are still questions, you have our call center, you have our email IDs, you can send those questions. So I thank all my panel members. I thank our technical facilitators, our team member, our IT team consisting of Mr. Amit Jatale, Mr. Balesh, and Mr. Zia and Mr. Santosh, and my esteemed panel, the parent, Mrs. Sharma, and our own Ishwar, and all of you, parents and students, attentively participating with us and encouraging us, and also for hopefully for giving us opportunity to serve you with our mission and our excellence. There is somebody who is saying, I paid for the exams, emails for completing the payment. Why? Will it be a problem for me to appear for the examination? We cannot answer generically. If you're getting the message, means maybe your payment didn't go through or it is not getting registered in the system. So please share your set ID and write to the set secretariat with CC to us. Student with the special ability, what was the cutoff last year? Atmaram, any idea? We do not disclose last year's cutoff, but generically we can say somewhere around 60% out of 150. So you can
Between
imagine
60
90
to 71.
Yeah, 60, score 60 or score 70. Because these are very niche categories, and these are people who have to be specially encouraged. Their competition also is very less. So AIAT is the test for LLM, All India Admission Test, and also for 3-year LLB. These are separate types of tests. For 3-year LLB, we call it as 3-year LLB National Test, and this AIAT is the name given by UGC for the 1-year LLM entrance examination. Even the CLAT examination has got the undergraduate and postgraduate entrance exam happening simultaneously. Whereas in our case, we don't conduct it simultaneously because our pattern is different. So we conduct a separate AIAT for LLM followed by interview. So in LLM AIAT, we have got the objective part and the essay part. So that was highlighted by Dr. Shelke. More details are there in the bulletin, which is uploaded in the admission section of the website. So kindly go through that again. If you don't understand, then you dash an email or a phone call. So we call it a day. Thank you very much for waiting with us and reporting in the afternoon, and all the best to all of you. Thank you, panel. So can we now?
Thank you, ma'am.
Did
Thank
anyone
you all.
notice question being unanswered, and do
No, ma'am, I think almost all questions have been answered by you.